And welcome, everybody. The Jim Masters Show is live worldwide right now. We greet you. We welcome you. We hope you're having a terrific day. If you're not, we are here to put smiles on your faces. We broadcast live worldwide, simulcasting on YouTube and on Facebook, concurrently at Jim Masters TV. Great to have you with us. It is a Monday. Hope you had a fabulous weekend. We were with you if you're one of our faithful flock, one of our great faithful loyal viewers who loves the show, watches the show, and tells everybody about the show. We greet you from all around the world. Hope you had a good day today. If it's just starting your day in Australia and New Zealand, places like that, well, we say good day. Welcome to your day. It would be Tuesday for you. This is the Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series that we launched 14 weeks ago. 14 weeks ago as of today. Isn't that amazing? 14 weeks have flown by with shows every single night live at 7 p.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. Pacific. Now, could you imagine that? Every single night, 14 weeks, multiply that by shows every single night. That's a lot of shows, and many of you have been with the shows and the series since it started. As you know, or for those of you joining us for the first time, I'm a professional television and radio host and personality, journalist, actor, writer, producer, stage MC, voiceover artist, and created this 14 weeks ago to add some light, levity, and love, or as we call it, lovity, on the air. Levity was a word we just sort of stumbled on here on the Jim Masters Show live, and everybody has fallen in love with the word levity. So that's really cool. We've got our cast of characters here too. George Burns is here. He says hello and he greets all of you. He's been a part of our show almost since day one, ever since we did a nostalgic night. And he says hello to all of you, you and you and you. He's got his cigar. He's all set and ready to go. I tell you, I couldn't believe the amount of people that have fallen in love with these cast of characters. When we had Dreama Denver on Saturday, she displayed the Gilligan bobblehead doll. She's actually sending me one, and he's going to become part of our cast of characters here. We're going to have Gilligan on the show as well. I was just chatting with her today. She really loved her time on the show on Saturday. And Jerry Castaldo last night, he had a phenomenal time as well. His dad was on. So many fabulous guests we've had. But of course, it's about you and me and the whole show and the light, levity, and positivity. Jeannie is in there, and Jeannie says hello to all of you as well. Towards the latter part of our show today, we're going to do our Viewer of the Week. We didn't get a chance to do it. We ran a little late last night, so we're going to announce later in the show, towards the end of the show, who our Viewer of the Week is this week. Right now, Renee Oscom has been our Viewer of the Week. Continuing, she got to be it for 2 weeks, actually, in Iowa. Good to have you with us. There is your friend Silver, the lab. He is here. He says hello. We got him on a TV shoot in Switzerland. Everybody looks for Silver. And we have one more cast of characters, as we always put a smile on your face. Now, he's a friendly clown. If you're afraid of clowns, don't worry. He's been confirmed. He's a childhood toy. And there's Jimmy. And Jimmy says hello as well. And pretty soon we're going to be adding Gilligan, courtesy of Dreama Denver, Bob Denver's wife, to the cast of characters. It was cool. Again, none of this was supposed to be on purpose or normally happening, but we had a nostalgic show, and then everybody fell in love with the characters and the word levity. So we've kept it all as part of our show. Also, you know how we do, we go big time here. So we do lights, camera, and action. We pull out all the stops. We've got the home studio and studio upgrades and all the stuff we've done on behalf of this show. So we go lights, camera, and action. The Jim Masters Show is about to begin. And there we go. Some lights, camera, and action. We are all ready to go. Hope everybody's having a great day. I need more arms, or I need to be an octopus with all these props. This is quite an open to a show, isn't it, every night? I say hello to you and you and you and you and you. We toast all of our viewers from around the world, as we have viewers who watch religiously all across the United States and Canada, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia as well. And it's really cool. It's really cool to meet you all and engage with all of you as well. And we've got a sensational guest tonight. We're going to do Viewer of the Week towards the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. But we have an amazing guest tonight. We were just chatting prior to going live on the air about some of the things that we've been doing, you know, during this situation that we've all had to deal with in the last couple of months, how we've been getting by, some of the things we've been doing. And I'm very excited. I love this picture. I'm going to put this one up because I think this is a really cool picture of my guest, Jerome Brooks Jr. That's a really cool picture. Love that hat, too. I got to borrow that hat from him. You know me, I love these hats. Actor, composer, writer extraordinaire, Jerome Brooks Jr. is our very special guest. He's a SAG-AFTRA, AEA actor who received his BFA musical theater major, classical piano minor from Shenandoah Conservatory. His big screen debut was the villain, Josh McKee, in Art Equals Love 2. And in 2020, he music directed Black Love in Queens at the Black Spectrum Theater. He also played the lawyer Jeffrey Reynolds in Thank You for Taking My Call at the Players Theater in West Village. In Crowns, he played the man and music, directed as well. He also was the musical director for Bring It On, which is directed by Tony Award winner Tanya Pinkins. He performed his original music during Grammy Week 2019 at Los Angeles historic El Portal Theater. He was also a bass in the opera Amal and the Night Visitors with On-Site Opera Company and the Harlem Opera Theater. He originated The Time Machine in the Mad Scientist play at 13th Street Rep. He was Isaiah Johnson in Tumbleweed at Dixon Place and was the vocal arranger for Power Season 5, Episode 1. He was the dueling piano player in Amazon's Z, The Beginning of Everything, off-Broadway. He contributed additional arrangements for Mother Courage and Her Children. He's the keyboardist on the cover of Rock Band 3 video game for Xbox 360 and in the commercials as well. He's the creator of Committed, the musical which has staged readings at Emerging Artists Theater and Musical Theater Factory. 2017 album, Multi-Genre Music by Jerome, is a 20-song follow-up to his 2007 album, Committed, which are available online and all streaming platforms. He's performed at Lincoln Center and LA's Taste of Soul Festival, the Apollo, the Triad, Iguana Club, Sugar Bar, Symphony Space, and on, even in Switzerland, Japan, Germany, Austria, Turkey. He's the youth musician for the Convent Avenue Baptist Church in Harlem in New York City, under the direction of Dr. Gregory Hopkins as well. And he's available and seen on all the social media platforms as well. Here's another cool shot of him, too, as we get ready to welcome him to the show. We also have, which is really cool, I mentioned it just a second ago, that Xbox, there he is the keyboard player. He's right there on the left. Rock Band 3 is on the cover of that, the commercials as well. We're really excited to welcome him to the show. It's a real delight. Again, he's very, very talented and really, really skilled at what he does. And he's also very approachable and affable and friendly. And he's going to have a good time with all of you, as I know you will with him. And if he got my memo, he will have a hat on his head because we sent a memo that we're going to do hat night tonight. And I think I see him waiting in our green room. You know, we give our guests lobster, champagne, fine chocolates, and the finest cheeses from around the world when they're in our green room waiting to go on. So I think he's finished with all of that. And now he put his hat on just for us. Let's welcome Jerome Brooks Jr. to the show tonight. Welcome.
Hello, how are you?
You got the hat. I love it.
I know, I saw yours and I was like, I have to make sure I have it for hat night.
That's it. Tell us about the history of the hat. It's cool.
Oh my goodness. So I was going to my post office box in Times Square and people had Macy's bags. I was like, why do they have Macy's bags? It's a pandemic.
Yeah.
So I had to go to Macy's and it was the Black Friday sale. And I went just to look, but this hat was like, Jerome, you have to get me.
Yeah.
So I said, I don't want to leave you there. I'll get you and I'll take you home. And this is my new pandemic hat.
It's very cool. It's very cool. It's a little Pharrell Williams too. It's got a little vibe of Pharrell.
Right. Like his what was it, Vivian Westwood?
Yes.
Right, the Grammy hat.
Exactly. Cool. Looking good, looking sharp on a Monday night.
This is good.
How have you
And
been through all of this
um,
craziness, and with everything closed and venues closed? And I mean, you're a performer and a composer and an actor, and you're used to, like me, I'm used to being on stages and television studios, radio stations, on TV shoots. So you're used to the same thing and being involved in the musical world. How have you been keeping busy with all of this, Jerome?
oh my goodness. So I've had to delete items out of my computer because everything is digital.
Yes.
So I have an agent who submits me for voiceovers and everything. You have to film it at home. And so it's kind of like, okay, make sure I get my circle light, make sure, have a backdrop because everything is creatively yours. And you, congratulations to you, 14 weeks. And not only did you create something visually, but it's international. So this is very nice, Jim.
It really, I tell you, it's been amazing. Thanks, Jerome. I appreciate that. The folks that we have here are all over. You got a lot of great comments. Arini Katz, love the name Jerome, like Kern, like Jerome Kern.
Music.
Christine, hello now from Facebook. Happy Monday to Jim and all. So she's welcoming us. Linda in Florida loves the hat. Jennifer loves it. Joy Lorenzo, who's in New York City, loves it. And Avril Britton, who's an avid fan, she's in Hampshire in the United Kingdom, watches all the time. Very hot there in Hampshire, but she says lovity to all of us, as we are the show of lovity. And hi all, watching Christine on YouTube, watching on Jim Masters TV. And hi, Jim and friends. Hope you all had a great day. Marianne Kelly, New Jersey, saying hello to all of us. Linda Odell in Florida saying hello. Crystal Nolan in Connecticut is saying hello. Willie in Holland. She goes to bed. Sometimes she takes naps. Sometimes she doesn't. Sometimes she stays up all day because it's 1:15 a.m. where she is in the Netherlands right now. Wow. And she never misses this show. So she is dedicated. They're all dedicated lovities here on the show. Of course, they love Jeannie and they love Silver. For Willie, it's her Wednesday will be her 100th show. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
She hasn't missed. That's unbelievable. We're going to have a big celebration there. Cheers, ching, ching. Marilyn in Kansas, hello to all of us as well. Thank you, Marilyn. Good to see you as well. Hello from Facebook. She loves the name. Many talents Jerome has, absolutely. Merlin is here from Canada. Jennifer says, welcome, Jerome. Ralph Lampkin Jr. says, good evening. Merlin from Innerkip, Ontario, Canada says, welcome. So I told you they were going to welcome. They welcome the guests. Krista Nolan, welcome to the show. You have a phenomenal career. Welcome, as spelled in Dutch by Willie.
Very nice.
Ernestine in North Carolina says, hello, Jerome. Merlin loves the hat. And Renee Katz, cabaret star in New York. She loves the hat and the shirt. Loves everything. Avril is welcoming you from England. Very cool hat as well. This is the Hat Club, folks. Hopefully everybody home has got their drink and their hats. Cool hat. Kathleen in New York City says hi. Jennifer's playing with her spell check. Great name, like Jerome Kern. They're all loving that. Looks so debonair. Welcome. So there, now you're officially a part of the club, Jerome.
Nice. That was very nice.
That's it, I tell you.
Yeah, loyal following.
Yeah, absolutely. And it continues to grow. Feel free to spread the word and have more folks coming in. So you were telling us about some of the things you've been doing and to keep creative during all of this.
Yeah.
And that's, that's something that we all have to do, right? I mean, it's especially if you're a creative type, you got to keep those juices flowing, right?
Yes. And it started, with me saying I've always needed opportunity to develop more monologues, to create more music, to write plays, and now the time is there, and it's like, okay, I have to be proactive.
Exactly. Let's go back in time a little bit, Jerome. When you were a little kid growing up in South Carolina, did you
Um,
have influences of family that were also entertainers, whether they were professionally entertainers or they were people that were just involved in the creative arts? Or were you the breakout child that was just jumping around the house and singing and dancing and creating, and the family noticed that in you?
yeah, so my mom and dad only had two children, me, I'm junior, and my brother's Michael. So at 7 years old, my mom and dad told me that they were going to have a little boy. And I started piano at 5. They were like, we don't play any instruments, but we hear something in you. So we have to get you a piano. We have to get you lessons. And I just played music. I love to sing. And when I found out they were pregnant, I said, oh my God, we have to name the baby Michael Jackson. And they let me name my brother Michael. They said he couldn't be Michael
Wow.
Jackson.
Wow. That's amazing.
But my brother, he's named after Michael Jackson. You know, I love Prince,
Oh,
Michael
sure.
Jackson. I
Yeah.
wanted, that was it. He was a smooth criminal, and I've always loved music. My parents, they saw it in me, and so every opportunity they would expose me. So at 12 years old, there was a competition called IMTA, International Modeling Talent Association Convention, and it used to happen in New York at the Hilton and Towers. They took me to that at 12 years old. We counted pennies and we came. And I entered like 5 different competitions. I placed in everything, but because I was young, they said, we have opportunities for you, but you have to be in New York or LA. And they said the best time to come is during the summer. Unfortunately, we did not really know lots of people in LA or New York, but I always knew from that 12-year-old experience that New York is the place that I wanted to be because of opportunities. So years later, I came
You
in
came.
2003.
Mm, that's amazing. Going to go back. We did a little digging and
Uh-oh.
found this picture. Who's this
Uh,
cutie?
let's see. Hmm.
I
That is not me.
wonder who that is.
I don't know. There's a picture I have similar to that, but that's a cute baby.
We'll think about that one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, what were some of those first entrees into entertainment for you? Did you start in plays in school, like in, kindergarten and elementary school, and getting into the arts that way through school, and then just developed your career from there, Jerome?
Yes, school and a community theater. There was a community theater called the Ibushua Foundation, and we did lots of plays, Nutmeg, Rockin' Robin, where I sung Michael Jackson songs. And then there was church. There was a lady named Grace Cusack, and she would come up with all of these plays and monologues. So the monologue I did for Shenandoah Conservatory actually came from a play at church that I did in combination with the classical monologue that I learned when I went to the South Carolina Government School for the Arts. So a combination of church, community theater, and school. The community was very good to me. I learn now that because of how I grew up, it influenced who I am now. I know lots of youth that I get to work with in New York, they don't have a community of arts like I did when I was down south. So, I mean, I got to do marching band, I was in concert band, I played the trumpet, the baritone, I did plays. And so when I come here and I look at opportunities that youth have in New York, and I'm like, well, they live here, they can just go to Broadway every day. And the truth is, some kids have never left their neighborhood. And so I am thankful that I had the opportunity, to learn a lot.
Yeah,
Are you from New York?
New York originally, yes. Yeah.
Oh, so you had all those opportunities too.
When I grew up on Long Island, and for us, it was nothing to go on a class trip, just a regular class trip, and have the class trip be a Broadway play,
See?
or to the Empire State Building, or the Statue of Liberty,
Oh
or
my God.
American Museum of Natural History, things of that, Guggenheim, or just
Yes.
the Hall of Science, all these different
See?
things we were exposed to. But as kids, going on the bus into the city out from Long Island, it didn't seem like it was anything extra special because it was in the tri-state area. So it was
Local.
right. It was local for us. But now when, you get older and you hear people say, oh my God, I want to go to there, and
Right.
book hotel rooms and flights and
From all over
travel,
the world.
and it's a big thing. You're like, wow,
Yeah.
really? Because there's people in the New York area who've never even been to the Statue of Liberty.
Yes.
Sometimes you don't, you don't appreciate what's in front of you sometimes,
See?
no matter where we live.
No matter. And I think from me, like performing overseas, and when people come to New York, they're like, hey, we're going to go to this restaurant. We're going to go to this place. And I'm just like, oh, I never heard of it. And they're like, oh my God, everybody knows. So you're absolutely right. The people that come from overseas and out of town, sometimes they enlighten us. And I live here. Oh, I've never been.
Exactly right, which is really, really amazing. I want to go through some fabulous photos that we have here. First, when you came to New York, what were some of those very first opportunities that came your way, Jerome? I know, you come into the big city, great opportunity, but you got to really work hard. You got to show up to the party. You got to prove yourself. A lot of competition. What were some of the big breaks along the way for you that happened when you came to the Big Apple?
When I came, oh man, when I came, I just knew I was going to be on TV the next day and on Broadway. Well, when I came, I had the spirit of my chorus teacher, Linda Johnson. She gave me extra faith because I said I was going to move to New York. And so at 18, she decided to arrange a whole group of youth to take a bus and see The Lion King on Broadway. So that's the first show that I ever saw. And when I came, I was like, I want to be in that show. So when I was in college, we would drive to New York on the weekend. And so when I came, the Lion King audition was the first thing I went to. And then I went to the Rent audition. And then all of a sudden, I met this agent. And he had me do stand-in work. And then while doing stand-in work, I got to meet like Sherman Hemsley and Ozzy Osbourne. And then that led to me being on TRL, and I was a background dancer for Beyonce when she did Gold Member. And then I ended up getting an opportunity to play piano in Japan for 4 months. Immediately following, I was able to go to Switzerland for 3 months, and then I was able to go to Turkey and Austria. So it happened fast. And then I started booking commercials, and I became a must join in SAG. And that is the union I ended up joining first was SAG. And after I came back from overseas, I realized that I still couldn't audition for the Broadway shows until they saw equity. And so my end to equity was to join after a year of being in SAG. I was like, I performed in theaters all over the country. Why can't I just audition, for this Broadway show? P. Diddy's going to be in A Raisin in the Sun, and I'm going to be right for one of the guys that, his sister dates. And,
it's great. You've always had this, it seems like early on, you've always had this confidence. You know what I mean? Like when you went to Lion King, I want to be in that. And I know I want to do that. And I want to work towards that. There's an inner confidence that you have, which is really solid.
You had to have that. I had to have it. Now what happened is you realize you're not the best looking, you're not the most talented, you're not the tallest, and then it weighs on you. And I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to make it now? Like everything that I thought was supposed to happen, it's not happening as fast, or it's not going to that next level. You know, I mean, I was fortunate to be Nick Cannon standing on a Snapple commercial, you know, but he got there late. And so they were like, you
I
have to
could
put on the
see that,
clothes.
a little resemblance. I could see that. Yeah.
You see,
Yeah, I see
oh
it.
my God. And so we shot in case he didn't show up, but they cut off my head. And then fortunately he showed up. You know, the same thing happened with Anthony Mackie. You know, there was a movie that Paul Bettany directed that his wife Jennifer Connelly was in called Shelter. And Anthony Mackie found out that I stood in for Most Def, and he was like, hey, can you stand in for me? And so I felt like I'm learning all these lines. I know how to do camera work. Like now I want to be in a movie where I'm going to audition with Nick Cannon or against him or Anthony Mackie. Those are my types. But it's a big gap.
Mm.
It's like when nobody knows you, nobody knows you. And when somebody does know you, then you're in everything.
Right.
And so I'm still trying to navigate because, you know, theater is totally different from Hollywood. You have so many talented people on the East Coast in New York, but nobody knows them. Like Audra McDonald is now getting in films and TV, and everybody's like, who's this lady? And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's the queen of Broadway. Even Brian Stokes Mitchell.
Yes,
and
there's another one that, all of a sudden, then they become, it's amazing, they become household names, and then everybody wants them for every project and every commercial and reading and whatever it is, TV shows, and
You see, in the early 2000s, I went to the Kennedy Center to go see Brian Stokes Mitchell and King Hedley, and they were having a talk back with August Wilson. And when I watched it, there was this lady crying playing Tonya, and I was like, who is this lady? It was Viola Davis. I said, I don't know who she is, but I've never seen a performance like this. Like, you know, tears and snot, and the next thing you know, all these years later, she is the Viola Davis. But this was, you know, early 2000s.
Unbelievable. I tell you, it's really amazing when you think about it. So things have really been going well for you. And I mean, because you're doing a lot of different things. You're an actor, but you're also a composer. How did the composing and writing part of all of this come into play? Musical director. I mean, there's a lot of incredible titles you're holding and maintaining.
It came, I've always been writing music. I love to create. It's just here in New York, most of the people that make it create their own things, kind of like you. You know that you're talented. You know that you act. You know that you can speak. You know that you're good with people. And it's like, if nobody's going to give you your own TV show, then you have to create your own. And I felt like if I was not going to get the opportunity to be in a show with a complex character, that was my type, I had to create one. And so I started creating a musical called Committed. And that came after I created a CD called Committed. And
there it is on the screen.
You see, unfortunately, it was created from some pain. In 2007, I gave up on life and my dreams. And I was in a Bellevue psychiatric ward. And I just didn't think I could deal with this anymore. I wasn't famous. And I wanted to make my parents proud, and I wanted to make a lot of money.
So you were putting a lot of self-induced pressure on yourself. You were giving yourself a time limit, and, you know, I'm ready, I'm here. Time is money. Time is of the essence. I need to have this happen now, and it's not happening fast enough.
And so many people that I went to school with were on Broadway, and I'm just like, what's the difference?
What about me? I can do this and this and this and this. And so it got overwhelming for you and frustrating and claustrophobic. And
Yeah.
so you had a visceral reaction to that. So how did you
Thank
work through that? I mean, that could be very inspiring for somebody listening right now who may be feeling that way with everything we're going
you.
through now with pandemics and social distancing and no connection. How did you
There was
work
a
through it?
therapist, Frances Barberena. She had me read The Secret. She had me, heal myself from the inside. And if you don't believe in yourself, you can't expect other people to believe in you, because if they don't, then you have nothing. And so I had to learn how to accept everything Jerome is, the good and the bad. And once I started to do that, things came. Like Rock Band 3 commercial in the game cover. I knew I could play piano, and the agent said, hey, this is an opportunity. They're looking for a keyboard player who's Black, and you can play. You have to learn Bohemian Rhapsody. And I was like, oh my God, I can do this. I can do this. I went to the audition, and there were like 15 guys. They were all models. They were all tall. They were all beautiful, and they could all play the piano. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not different. What am I going to do? And I didn't get it. But the guy that they cast didn't want to do it anymore. And so they called me, and they had already fit the clothes for the other guy. He was more muscular. So they had to pin the clothes on me. But, the opportunity, just knowing that, hey, I may not be the best looking, but sometimes it's not always about talent, it's about tenacity. And if people want to work with you and if they like working with you, sometimes that's even better, because at the end of the day, you can have the most talented people, but if nobody wants to work with them, what do you think about that?
That's right. Exactly. That's exactly right. And you have to, stay true to yourself. And it's very true. If you don't have self-love, and not egotistical and narcissistic
Yeah.
love, but self-love. And sometimes for a lot of people, that takes time, especially if you are a giver. If you're always giving and giving and lifting other, we've had a lot of
Yeah.
conversations like this on the show. If you're a giver and you're always, there's no input, it's all output, output,
Yeah.
output of your creativity, of your personality, of your last $5 or whatever it is, you're outputting. And there's no looking in the mirror and no appreciation for the person that's doing all of that. You could easily go down a road where you feel empty and like nobody cares, and why am I not getting all of these? I worked just as hard, and I'm just as talented, and I'll work even harder probably than some of the other people will.
Yeah.
Yet, they bypass. So it's a strange thing, but you seem to have been able to develop the strength, the resilience, and the self-love in the healthy way that's carried you up out of the ashes, through and forward, right?
Yes, and it's people that kept me going. There is one special person that Tanya Pinkins. She was my angel. She's given me so many opportunities, and sometimes you have to have somebody that believes in you, that knows you have something to give the world. And maybe they can only give you a boost. Maybe they can't carry you the whole way.
Right.
But it's people like her that, she directed 2 readings of Committed, the musical. And I was able to see that this is a story that, it's kind of like what you said. It's about this composer, and he gives everything to all of his friends. I wanted to write the Rent of, the 21st century, and how Rent documented the 90s. I wanted to document what's going on here. Now you have diversity. You have white, Black, Latin, Asian, Middle Eastern. It's not about race, Now you have new titles, you have transgender, you have transmasculine. I mean, you also have interracial dating. And it was just kind of like, I wanted to tell a story of what's going on now, so that people with dreams in South Carolina could say, oh man, they're doing it, and this is what life is like. So I'm still waiting for that opportunity for Committed to take off. But I've also learned from like George Faison. He won the Tony for best choreography for The Wiz on Broadway,
Hmm.
and I played piano at his theater. He was very beneficial into me learning how theater works in a different way, because I learned in school, but to be here with people that have these awards and I'm sitting right there and they're legends, it's kind of like, okay, I need to digest. And then I'm able to meet the people that are learning just like me. There's this poet, Shabina Savid, and she was just on the Apollo and she was the champion. And it's like, I used to play piano when she was doing poetry. And so I see this come up, and I'm excited for everybody that I see because I feel like I know that my time is coming, but I want it to come in a good way. Like Lady Gaga, when she was in that movie with Bradley Cooper, she used to play piano at the bitter end, and she was this girl with long dark hair, but she created this image, Lady Gaga. And when she was able to do this movie, she got to show that she could play piano, that she could sing different types of music. And it was just kind of like, I want the opportunity to act in something where that character plays piano, and it's just kind of like, I don't want to just get in anything and they're like, how did this guy get it? I want to get in something and I want people to say, this guy got it because he was right for that part. So
Which is
until the
perfect.
right part comes, I'm willing to wait.
Well, I'm going to show them some fantastic video here showing your talent,
Uh-huh.
which is extraordinary. The first being Perfect Life by Jerome Brooks Jr. We're going to take a look at that, folks. Enjoy this, and then Jerome and I will be back to talk about this in just a second. Enjoy.
He has traveled the world making a living everywhere from Japan throughout Europe. He hails from North Carolina. He's a wonderful singer, a musical director, and tonight he is here to thrill you on the Just the Piano concert series. Please welcome to the stage, Mr. Jerome Brooks.
I had the perfect life, a little black boy growing up in the dirty South. Piano at 5, singing at 6, acting at 7. I was never abused. My parents, they never divorced. In church I grew, the eldest of 2, grandson of 3. At the table sat 4, including me. Grandmother knew that I wasn't the same. No kids would pick me when they played the game. But when I asked what a faggot was, I didn't know that a name could hurt so much. I had the perfect life, basketball just to prove that I was hard. Sex at 13, love at 14, she's pregnant at 15. Didn't make me no difference that the girl was Caucasian, but her family cared. Abortion in 9th grade, class president in 10th grade, drama school in the 11th grade. Many of the students thought I was gay. I told them that I did not flow that way. But when I asked what those rainbows stood for, I didn't know that colors of the rainbow could mean so much. So what do I do when my perfect life turns blue? And what do I do when
perfect life.
I wanna go to heaven and leave all of the rent for the next tenant, and then I'll have the perfect life. You know you want it to, so go on and act like you do. So how can I live after all I've been through and still hold my head high when I look at you? Because I no longer have what I used to have. The perfect life.
Very nice. Very. A couple people said take the hat off because they wanted to see your whole face, and now they get to see it.
Okay, right. I was like, okay, I cut my hair today, and I was like, I have to try to look nice for the Gym Master show.
Looking good, looking good. Did you cut it yourself or did you go somewhere? So many people are doing their own home haircuts.
I cut it myself. My dad taught me when I was a kid, and so I've been cutting myself, and I've been thankful.
Mine hasn't been cut since March yet, and it's very long and full and flowy right now.
It looks good. It looks good.
Thank you, thank you.
At least you grow hair because. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I got a part. In 2010, I got a hair implant. What happened is I was auditioning and my hair started thinning, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to be that character that could only be bald. And then when he's on a film with a wig, they know it's not real. So I went to Bosley. And I was like, what can you do? And they were like, it's going to be $8,000. I was like, I don't have that.
Yeah.
They said, well, you can finance it and we'll do it, in a week or a month or the next day. I called home and I was like, it's going to help my career because, if I can grow hair and then I can get parts and I can cut my hair one day and grow it the next day. And it is something that I do not regret, being able to grow hair. And then I researched and I'm just like, oh my God, Jamie Foxx did it. LeBron James did it. And, sometimes people don't tell you, but.
Brady on the Patriots did it. Now he's in Florida, but a lot of people, they've done it. Yeah.
It's an investment.
Right, right. Well, whenever I go to, since I have so much, and I'm lucky, I guess, when I go to the salon, and again, haven't been to it since March, whenever they cut it and it ends up, on the floor, I say, sweep that up and put it in a vault and freeze it in case down the line I need it. And it's my own.
Right.
Hey, you've got your drinks. So we always do a nice, stylish toast here on the show.
We got a toast.
Toast.
Masters and his friends.
All the lovelities.
All the lovelities.
So
and I didn't know how the process worked. So I found out what they did is, well, now they have a new process. I wish I had waited, but I couldn't wait back then. The old process, they cut out half of your scalp from the side because the sides of our hair never stops growing. Stitch it up, but they take the scalp and then they dig holes and they put the hair follicles from your scalp into the holes.
Yeah.
And then after 8 months, it grows and it never stops growing.
And are you awake for all of that or do they put you out?
Oh my God. From 7 in the morning to 5 in the evening, I was awake.
Oh, wow.
And it hurt so bad. Like, you know what one needle feels like? I hate things poking me.
Especially
so they like
scalp. Yeah.
Yes, 1,200. And so like they poked one time and I was like, ouch. And then after the 500 poke, it was just kind of like, oh. I just was like sweating.
That is.
But
if you don't have self-love after that,
oh my God,
I don't know when you would have it. You've earned it.
And the new technique they use now is called a fuse. So it's kind of like a hole puncher, and they just do hole punches all over so that nobody can see a scar. And then they take pieces of your scalp from those hole punches that they did, and then they put it in.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But if you don't want to do that and you just are bald, they have this thing where they just put dots of ink where you can shave your head bald, but it looks like you still have hair.
Look what Jennifer Barry writes. We love Jennifer.
Oh, Jennifer.
I tell you, we got some lovely crowd here, huh?
Wow.
And even Merlin says, if ever, bald is in.
See, and that's good. And I can cut it bald also.
Christopher Joseph says you look great. So Christine says cheers to Jim and Jerome.
Yes, cheers, Christine.
Cheers.
Jim, this is fun. I didn't know what to expect, and you did a lot of research.
Yes, absolutely. I really do think that this shot here is very cool. Let's go through some of the photos. We have some more videos and music and stuff to show people. Also, some of your incredible work from television and all. What was the setting for this shot? Because this is just such a cool shot. It's just such a great shot. It's at the Brooklyn Bridge behind you. I can see that.
Wow. Okay.
Awesome job. It's just a very cool shot. What's this? Is just a publicity headshot, or was this for a particular purpose? It's just a great, great shot.
So I was going to an audition one day, and there was this, I think, Filipino guy, Christopher Santos. Let's make sure I got it right. Christopher. Yes, CHRS. Yes. And so his thing was our Red Scar Photography. I had a keyboard, and I was coming from an audition. I had my hat on and a bow tie, and he was just like, "Oh man, I'm a photographer. Can I shoot you?" And so
right.
That's exactly what happened. He was just like, "This is my card, just keep your look and come and meet me under the Manhattan Bridge tomorrow. And I want to shoot pictures of you for my portfolio, but you can also use." And that was actually like the day after I got my hair implant.
So we're celebrating with new headshots and photos.
Yes. And so we went under the Manhattan Bridge, and I mean, he was so creative. And it was just kind of like I had my keyboard, my microphone, my guitar, my fedora, and it was just kind of like, hey, have fun. And it's amazing. You meet other artists. He was this photographer, and now he's done magazine covers. I mean, he's overseas now, but it's just kind of like he met me on the train and was just like, "Hey, I'd love to shoot you, if you don't mind, and if you want pictures, and I'll need pictures also." And that's what I love about New York, right, Jim?
Yes, right. Yep, absolutely. They're loving the bow tie. They love the headshot. Everybody's loving the shots.
And I was working for Tommy Hilfiger on Fifth Avenue, so that was like a Tommy blazer and a bow tie.
Yeah, and the hat's cool too. I love the hat. I'm a hat person. Yeah,
see,
love that hat. And it's all about that little tilt. That's what matters. The tilt of the hat is what adds in the vibe, right? It's
give it a little attitude, right?
Right, the tilt and the pucker of the lips, the eyes. That's what it's all about. Here's another cool shot. It's a nice friendly headshot,
Yeah. And that was a photographer, James Alexander, and he was shooting a lot of celebrities like Tanya Pinkins and Lillias White. And he lives in the Times Square area, and he was in one of the choirs that Power, when I directed the choir and we recorded music for the TV show Power, he was one of the vocalists. And he was like, "You need a new headshot." And I said, "I never had a headshot current of me smiling, and I had braces for like 5 years." And so he helped me to create a smile headshot.
You had braces too? So did I.
You did, right?
But what age were you when you had them?
It was my whole high school career. So from like the 9th grade until I went to college.
You know what? Me too. I got them 10th grade and off just before college. Yeah. It was a 3 years. They used to do it that way. It was longer, and they were the metal,
The metal. And you go every month to get them tightened up.
There was no Invisalign and all that like they have now. That's a cool shot there. Here's another one, a little more serious.
Oh, yeah. Now my hair grew. I was like, I can grow hair. And this was
this is a Tony Don't Scott. Mess with Jerome.
And that was in Times Square. So this young lady named Tony Scott, she's so talented. She was just like your look is kind of like classic Harlem, but new school.
Yeah.
And I was always I always admired, like, you get the Duke Ellington, the Langston Hughes, you know, the debonair guys with the nice mustaches, and I was like, I want to create, you know, that look. And after that picture, my mustache has kind of been a permanent thing now.
Like a trademark, sort of.
Yes. I just cut off my handlebars because, you know, we have to wear masks all the time, and then my handlebars don't stay up.
There's another one.
Dolores Henderson, she did that, and she was a model. And you know, I do grow a 5 o'clock shadow. She was like, you know, you need one with the beard so that if you get a role, and that was Art Equals Love Square. The director, Mumtaz Hussain, he wanted me to have a beard, and so that was it. When you act, you have to have a beard look. You know, you have to have a no beard look, and then you got to have a smiling pig.
Right, I know how that is. I'm like you. I have so many different looks, and I dress and change my hairstyle and everything, the whole look based on the project, the event, the scenario, and that's just par for the course when you're in the creative world. I think you get used to doing that, and then what's funny is how you carry that over to the rest of your life. Like, you'll have different clothes and hairstyles just based on what day of the week it is. Sometimes
you're right.
It just becomes part of.
It becomes a part.
Yeah. Here's another quote. This is Pandemic Jerome. Tell us about this one.
Let's see. Michael Ford. We were supposed to be releasing a house track and some singles, and he paid this photographer to take the pictures, Justin Chauncey, and unfortunately, everybody lost every job and every form of income, and so we weren't able to release this set of house music songs yet. But that picture is one of the ones from the shot. You know, it was supposed to all happen this year. We were going to release, you know, but financially, everybody's just taking a hit. So it was just like, well, we don't want the photos to go to waste. And that's the handlebar. I had that, like, you know, a few weeks ago. But
wow.
Oh my God. That was the first time I went to the Grammy Awards.
We did our homework here, Jerome.
Yes.
Still trying to figure out who that little kid was in the beginning. I don't know. We saw that on Twitter.
You want to hear a story, Jim?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I went to the Grammy Awards by myself. I met some nice people from the Indie Collab. But what happened is that tuxedo was so expensive from Tommy Hilfiger, Fifth Avenue, like $600.
Yeah.
I didn't want to carry a bag. So I had like my wallet, I had my cell phone, I had my charger, and I went to the restroom and I squat down and my pants ripped. And then I tried to stand up. I was squatting to like charge my phone, you know, and then I stood up and my pocket ripped that my wallet was in. So I had a split in my pants and then my pocket ripped. And then like I tried to like put my wallet in the other pocket and the button popped. And it was like the worst thing ever. I was like busting apart at the seams. And so I like ran down the street. I was like, oh my God, I got to go to Zara and like buy something else.
Yeah. Quickly.
But what happened is this was at the premiere ceremony. They give out 72 awards. And then on the televised program, they give out 10. You know, so I went to the premiere ceremony and I was like, I have time to go change before the televised. And then once I got in front of the Zara in Hollywood, I was like, oh my God, I don't think I have time. And I'm not going to come all the way to the Grammy Awards and then not be able to get in and like miss the opening performance. So I went back and my whole tuxedo in the back was broken open and my button had popped. And I was like, I look good in the front. But like
you go rear angle shots.
You can see my underwear. And it was nothing I could do. What would you do? Like,
And the jacket wasn't like a long tails where
no,
tails would have covered it, but that was a short trim jacket.
it was tailored tight to
Yeah.
fit,
So of course,
and it popped all the way open.
did other
When I
people
got,
start noticing it?
you know,
Well, they
when
weren't
they
gonna
looked at
say.
me in the front,
Yeah.
they didn't. But when I turned around, I was like, uh-oh.
I know why.
Maybe they,
Yeah.
yeah. But when I got back, you know, the Tommy Hilfiger staff, they like gave me a brand new suit because I took it back and I was like, this is what happened to me at the Grammy Awards with all the celebrities. And, you know, I had pictures with, oh my God, like, you know, people that won awards. Paul Schaefer was behind me at the after party.
Oh yeah.
And it was just like, I'm taking pictures with all these people. And I'm like, my suit is broken. But
Broken. It's broken.
it was really broken. It was so bad.
Now, again, let's go back to Committed a little bit. Tell us a little bit more about it, because I know that's a labor of love for you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, tell us about it a little bit more.
It's a story about it's mental illness, and you're dealing with dreams and goals.
Yeah.
You know, I learned from Freddie Walker Brown. She did direct one reading of Committed in 2008, and she was saying that Jonathan Larson put himself into Mark and Roger.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, you know, you have to have a sense of character, and basically it's talking also about religion. It's religion, sexuality, interracial relationships, and dreams and goals. And committed means you're committed to your goals, you're committed to your dreams. Sometimes you commit yourself to other people, and then sometimes you get committed to the psych ward, and it encompasses so much. And you have different characters who are all artists, and they commit to different things in their life. There's a single mother, you have a white soul singer, and so this central character, Jazz, he plays piano for a white guy in a gay bar. He plays piano at a church, and then he plays piano for the God, you know, for the mother of his godson, and he plays for the theater girl, and he gives every aspect of himself. But when he needs love and support, nobody gives it to him. And so what happens when your dreams and goals don't work, but nobody supports you? And me, it's semi about me, but I was able to learn a lot at the Musical Theater Factory, and I was able to develop storylines and character traits that didn't necessarily emulate exactly what happened, but these new things made the characters whole. And you're able to see that at the end of the day, what are you going to do? Are you going to give up on life, or are you going to continue to try? And Committed, I would like for it to inspire others when they dream that sometimes you may give up and things may not go how you plan, but you have to commit to something, because if you don't, you're going to fall for anything. And there's so many performers that I know that wanted to be on TV and they never got it. So now they do porn. You know, I know so many people that wanted to be supermodels and they didn't. So now they work in a clothing store.
So they sort of went into other areas, right? They gave up.
Yeah, he gave up, and man,
aren't you glad you did
give up?
Aren't you glad you gave up a little bit, but what got you out? How were you able to come back from that? What was it about the experience that allowed you to look within and find that resilience to return? If not with a new lease on life too.
A new lease. There were two people that found me. It was Julia and Mark Cohen. So Mark Cohen was a partner of Tom O'Horgan, who, you know, directed Jesus Christ Superstar on Broadway, and Lenny, and Hair. And Mark is married to Julia, who was in a lot of Spike Lee films on Broadway. And they're a couple now, and she's black and he's white. And we were working on a new musical that was going to be on Broadway, and I never showed up for any more rehearsals. And she has this sixth sense, and she researched all the hospitals, all the therapists, One day I was sitting in the psych ward because they took my cell phone. I couldn't call anybody. I was just stuck for days. And one day they walked into the cafeteria and she was like, "That's my brother and we need to get him out." And she said, "You got to pull yourself together, because if you don't believe that you can make it, they're not going to let you out. You know, in order for somebody to leave you in a place, they're going to leave you there as long as you need the help. But once you realize and say, 'Hey, I'm going to be okay,' then they'll say, 'We're going to release you.'" And so she was able to help my mom get here and help my dad get me together, and they took me back to South Carolina. But Julia and Mark, they paid for everything, and they made sure that that I knew that I had family in New York. You know, when I moved here initially, I didn't know anybody, you know, of that I was related to, and I was able to meet a cousin, you know, that my dad knew. "Oh, we have a cousin that lives in the Bronx," you know, Tanya and Lula, JR. But I came by myself on a train like 20 hours, and you know, just going to have a dream. And so I was by myself, and now I had to create my own family, and that's what Committed was. I started meeting lots of artists, and I was like, "We're so talented. Let me create a show that we can all be in." So I find the love from other artists, you know, from the church, like Gregory Hopkins. He hired me at Convent to play for the youth choir, and he's a professor at Howard. But looking at like his life, he's the artistic director of the Harlem Opera. There are people that I have to look up to, and you know, he has a partner that he's been with for a while, and he also has a son, and it's just kind of like, how do people navigate their lives and keep their heads up? And I had to realize that there are people doing it all around me. You know, society, they push these things, and they make it seem like things aren't possible. But I think things are possible, Jim.
Yes,
I think so.
absolutely. Absolutely. They are, because, and sometimes when you least expect it, right? Sometimes opportunities come when you're not chasing it. That's amazing. I've had that happen a lot recently. I don't know what it is. I think it's, and I can tell you about it. I did a whole thing where I drove alone through Death Valley and had a life-changing experience driving alone through Death Valley and the desert and all this after a TV shoot, and how I came out of it. And then all of a sudden, all this energy came my way. All these, I've always been busy with all of my work. I've always been 7 days a week and busy, and you know how it is, weekends and nights and this and that, all these different shows and all the different things I do. But even more energy came where people were like inviting me to everything and wanted me everywhere. And I want you at this party. Can you do this event? Can you MC this, host this? Can you be part of this? And it was all of a sudden, and none of it was anything that I was chasing.
Wow.
It was coming in this direction for whatever they were getting from the skill, the experience, the talent, but from, I guess, whatever vibe I was putting out or do put out was attracting people. I mean, I can't tell
The
you.
law of attraction.
I can't tell you how many times I go into, well, not so much now, but I will go into a store that's empty, and every single time there will be lines of people behind me. And then the owner will be like, "My God, do you have a follow me sign? Because I need you to come into my store every day so I can get all these customers." I pull up at a gas station, there's nobody there, and all of a sudden there's lines of cars behind me. The other day we went to an ice cream shop, nobody there. Go in, get a cone, lines behind me. I don't know what it is, but I wish I had $1.
And that's what June said.
Me.
It's the same with your show. Like, I see the people commenting, and it's just kind of like, you know, you do have a loyal following, and you have this magnetic energy. I think that's a good thing.
To have the positivity too, maybe a positivity, a non-threatening way, which you have too. You have it. You could see it. You feel it. It's there. It's there.
And that's what I think. I would say I work with like Mos Def and Nick Cannon and Anthony Mack, and I will say that's kind of what Nick Cannon had. You know, he was able to get afforded these opportunities because he was very non-threatening. Like,
And you know who was like that too? And we just lost him. And I mentioned him a couple of times because he was actually a friend, Regis Philbin. Regis Philbin
oh my God, the epitome.
he was just, you know, everybody loved him because he was always friendly and funny and affable and could do so many different things. And
That's what you remind me of.
I've heard that before. Yeah, people have said that. Yeah, sort of like a young Regis, Dick Clark type of thing. Yeah, a little bit of that. Hey, you got some folks in South Carolina saying hello. Patricia Garcia.
Oh my God.
Jim Masters TV. Watching this.
Sweet.
Yeah.
We had the pianos outside in Times Square, and I met her there.
Met Patricia there?
Yeah, and she ended up moving to where I'm from.
Rini Cat says, wonderful, meaning and intense, committed, good luck with it as well. They're all wishing you good luck, which is really nice. What talent to create both the music and the lyrics for Committed as well. Again, you know, very supportive lot we have here. The secret of law of attraction, what we put out comes back to us, positive thoughts, and believe and receive.
Happening with you, Jim. Yeah, the law of attraction.
Jennifer asks, Jerome, if you had a pen and paper, what would you draw? No lyrics, no thoughts, just a picture.
I would draw a sun. A sun because it shines, it's warm, and it gives you opportunity and visibility to see. And I think right now there's so many things I want to see, like what's going to happen after this pandemic, what's going to happen with my career, what's going to happen with my family, what's going to happen with Jim, what's going to happen with you. And
there's your son, Jerome.
Son,
see it?
God, that was quick.
I tell you, we're quick. In a New York minute.
In a New York minute, I would draw the sun.
Yeah, because it's warm too, and it's life-giving, and it's the opposite of cold and frigid and stuck. It's more open and gives life.
Rain, the sun will shine.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. Tell us about this project. This is another cool project you've been involved in. Mother Courage and Her Children.
Yes. Oh my God. So Sheik from Spring Awakening, he was commissioned to do music for Mother Courage at the 13th Street. No, at the it's on 13th Street. Classic Stage Company.
Mm-hmm.
And Tanya Pinkins was in it, and she had just directed my musical, and she was like, "Oh my God, I know the perfect guy to help Duncan with the music." You know, because what happened is they wanted to do Mother Courage, but have it take place in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So she contacted the producers and the team, and the music that Duncan created was pop music, but all of the performers were of African origin. And so we were wondering, how can they Africanize the pop music? And Tanya brought me along, and what happened is I redid the music that he did, and what he asked for was the files, MIDI files of what I created. So if I created some drums and piano parts, he asked for the MIDI files so that he could take what I played but change the sounds. If he didn't like the piano sound I did, he could change it. He could change the drums, and he could change the tempo. So he took my music, added it to his music, and changed some things around. So when I did go to see it a few times, like, oh my God, that's me. That's the music I did. And you know, so that was my first off-Broadway credit as additional arranger.
Mm-hmm. How did that make you feel? That's incredible. Coming from South Carolina with these dreams, and now you've got that very first off-Broadway credit.
You see, it felt good. And I mean, it's like, Duncan Sheik knows who I am. I've never met him. You know, just kind of like how you work remotely. But
isn't that a cool name that he has?
You see,
How
and
could
I
she?
want to be there one day. I want to be in a show so bad, but I want to be in the right show. But unfortunately, I couldn't. I didn't get to bask in the big opening and all the big events because Tanya Pinkins left the show before it officially opened, and she was replaced by Keisha Lewis because I guess her and the director didn't agree. And her thing was everything that I brought to the show, including Jerome's music, has to go if I go.
Right.
And so they contacted me because there were some elements they wanted to keep, but they were like, we can't publicize that you were a part of this. You know, a lot of legalities and a lot of money, you know, that I had to be paid in order for things to be used. And so it's almost like I was a ghostwriter.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know. So I went, you know, after Tanya left the show, and I did hear my music in there, you know, but they used to have me as an insert to the playbill, but then the insert was no longer there. But you know, I was able to talk to everybody at Classic Stage, and then so everything was kind of official. They know what I've done, and they know who I am, and you know, I got credit, you know, off Broadway online, Lortel, but hasn't been official. Still waiting for something official, Jim.
Mm-hmm. Fingers crossed, right?
Yeah, you know, life, right? Life.
Life is what it is. Absolutely. It moves on. It continues. There was Art Equals Love too, which you were involved in. Tell us about what it was like to be involved in that project.
God, Art Equals Love Square is the best.
Squared. That's right. Love Squared.
Yeah, I had to grow a beard. It was I was the villain. It was so nice. I had to audition. It was this it's a relationship with these two people, and the girl died. She was bipolar, and the boyfriend is trying to figure out who killed her. And so she used to take dance classes where I used to teach, and so he comes and he thinks that I killed her, so he tries to kill me. And I mean, it was so amazing to shoot this film because you know I was the principal character. You know, so a lot of on camera time, and I had to train with this ballet choreographer and a hip hop teacher, and I had to grow facial hair, and I had to work out, and it felt good. You know, I had that taste of what it was like, and I wanted more.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that was a great opportunity too. So there have been these terrific opportunities along the way, right? I mean,
Yes,
extraordinary.
at the Indian Film Festival, and when I was working at Tommy Hilfiger, the whole staff came to go see it at the movie theater, and I was like, oh my God, I see myself on a big screen in a New York movie theater. So there's another movie coming out this fall, and I had a speaking part in that. You never know how the edits come out, but there's a new movie coming out that I had a part in, and we're gonna see if I end up being shown. So
Is it that?
yeah, it's still here. Yeah.
It's exciting. So you've been a part of that, and we're waiting to see when do they expect that to be out, so we can keep a look for it. Or are they still deciding?
So they want it out around August the 28th, and
Okay.
definitely, yeah, and it'll be at some movie theaters, you know, depending on how they open, and definitely online. And they want to have it streaming in September.
That's cool. So it's still here, and are you able to say what it's about at all? The premise?
You know, you can see the trailer, and the guy in the middle, you know, his daughter's murdered, and I was one of the neighbors, you know, in the building where she was killed, and you know, I think I was one of the people that discovered her body in like the trash can, you know. So, you know, I had some major parts in it. But the title has changed like 3 times. When I started, it was called Finding Her, and then it was called Meet Me in a Happy Place, and they had screenings, and then they redid some parts. So I don't want to say like, oh my God, you got to see me in it. I'm going to be so good. And if you go see it, and it's gone.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
So
like,
we'll stay tuned for that, right?
yeah. But you know what? The feeling of being on set and having those lines and being trusted as an actor with your work, it's nothing like it. You know, right, Jim? Just
Yes.
to have your
Right. And playing off people and the energy of creating is absolutely amazing. Here's another project that you've been involved in that's very meaningful as well. Tell us about the involvement in this one, Jerome.
Oh my goodness, Carl Clay, like Tanya Pinkins, she was directing Bring It On at the Black Spectrum Theater, and Carl Clay is the artistic director. This year they have their 50th anniversary, and he's just won the Adelco Award for the best presentation, and that's like the Black version of the Tony Award. So he created a musical called Black Love, and he wanted original music. And he said, your work with Tanya Pinkins and Bring It On was so good that I want you to create original music for Black Love. And we started this process of cultivating the sounds and the moods and the moments. And he added poetry and music and dance. And it became this artistic piece that was sold out. And it stayed sold out that they wanted to bring it back this summer. And so there was supposed to be a resurgence of it, but COVID, you know, but that was nice. An artistic director liked my work, and he was just like, you know, I wrote this play, but I love your music, so I want to incorporate, you know. And he's worked with, you know, some of everybody, you know, for the past 50 years. You get Ruby Dee and Oscar Davis. They were pioneers at the Black Spectrum Theater.
Absolutely.
In Queens.
Absolutely. Here's another. Now we're going towards the musical side of Jerome.
Oh my God.
Your reactions are funny. I love it. Oh my God.
So after the Grammy Awards, I qualified because I did my CD in 2007, committed. It was like after I got out the psych ward, I started creating dreams and goals, and I created this CD, and it qualified me to be in the Recording Academy, to go to the Grammy Awards, to vote and nominate people. And so after I went a few times, everybody's always asking, oh, what project do you have now? What are you working on? And so when I came back to New York, I said, I am going to show what I do. And I'm like, I don't just play classical piano. That was my minor. I'm a musical theater major. I don't just do musical theater. I play in church, but I also love hip hop. I love R&B. I love jazz. I love house music. So I created 20 songs where I used myself and different artists and choirs, and they're songs of all different genres. And so I felt like if somebody says Jerome is a musician and he writes music and he sings, they're gonna say, what kind of music does he write? So my proof is, if you want to know what kind of music I have, check out multi-genre music. You're gonna hear house, you're gonna hear gospel, you're gonna hear jazz, you're gonna hear theater, you're gonna hear soul music, you're gonna hear Motown-inspired songs. And I felt like sometimes people ask what you do, and sometimes you can't always explain it. Some people want to listen. And this was my answer to somebody asking, what do you do? What can you do? Can you really play the keyboard like you do in a rock band commercial? And I'm like, of course. Go to iTunes, go to Amazon. You can get a physical CD or just stream it on, you know, Apple Music or Spotify. And sometimes you have to leave things to leave a mark.
Right.
And that was my most recent mark. You know, people ask, what do you do? What kind of music? If you want to know, check out and you'll hear.
Does it take a lot for you to be satisfied by what you do? Are you right? You've all done all this great stuff. And maybe it takes you a while to hear what everybody's saying for you to appreciate.
But since COVID and the pandemic, I've learned to appreciate the little things. There's so many people that have died that didn't mean to get COVID. You know, people that were young, like the Broadway guy who was 41. I'm 40, and he had his leg amputated. He had a 1-year-old, and he had no pre-existing health condition.
Nick Cordero, yeah.
See, and so things like that showed me to appreciate the little things in life. So when June told me about you and your show, and I started looking and researching what you do, I was just like, this guy has created a platform, and I have the opportunity to be a part of something special. So when you get to the level that you want to get at, you can say, I met Jerome live Monday, August the 10th. It's just kind of like you have to appreciate the little things, because if you don't appreciate the little things, the big things may never come, and you may never be happy. So you have to be happy with every blessing and every opportunity.
We say that all the time here on the show, and I've always said it all my life as well. It's really what it's all about. And I think what we've been going through has reminded us everything stopped. We got the economic situation, societal change. We've got the health situation, and hurricanes, tornadoes. That an earthquake in North Carolina over the weekend. I mean, it's like everything's been thrown at us. We got to really appreciate our loved ones, our friends, our health, the things we have accomplished, the time and the creativity we have yet to still foster, and the people we meet, and every experience and every person you meet, I truly believe is for a reason. I don't think it's all haphazard. I think the people that you meet in your life, whether you stay with them or you don't, I do think there's a reason why we're brought together when we are in life.
Yeah. Seasons, right? Like there's always a season. Seasons change, and people come into your life, different seasons.
Exactly. Merlin had asked, but you had said Spotify and Apple, you can download it, you can get it in the Amazon, probably the CD.
Yes, Amazon. It has, yeah.
Rini says, so great you completed a CD that represents you.
Aww.
And she also said, you're a lovely person, Jerome. If you're ever down, come to the Jim Masters Show live. We lift everybody up, including ourselves.
Yes.
That's what we do. The show evolved into that. It's an entertainment lifestyle talk show series, but it evolved into that sort of vibe and energy. I think as people saw my work and what I do and maybe what I'm about, that sort of evolved. And that's why fabulous people like you are on the show. And it's a beautiful thing, it's a lot of positive energy. June too. June, I've known for a while now, and she's a dear friend. And we've gone to so many events together, and we've introduced each other to so many different people. And it was through another dear friend of ours, David Friedman, the composer, who worked on Aladdin, and he's got this whole wonderful We Can Be Kind campaign. He wrote a book about it. He does the Thought Exchange. He's part of the Unity Center. He's part of the one in Norwalk, Connecticut. And I met him the same night he introduced me to Lucy Arnaz.
Wow.
And then he had a play reading in New Canaan, Connecticut for a play called Money, which was actually hilarious. June was there with a couple of other friends. I was there as well. And we all met and all stayed together, which is how...
She loves plays. We've gone to see so many shows. She loves theater.
She's a theater gal, right? Yeah. She's got a great advertising background, too. She used to write commercials and jingles. She worked with WNET, PBS, and we didn't appreciate a lot before this year. That's what a lot of people are saying. Just look at that smile, good show. I have something else to show you, folks. Jerome in action more. Here's a little bit of a surprise, and then we shall come back and we will talk about this as well. Get ready for some more Jerome Brooks Jr. entertainment. emphasizing the junior.
Yeah.
I'm a junior too. As opposed to being I'm a pepper, you're a pepper. It's I'm a junior, you're a junior. Here we go.
Have no use for other sweets of any kind since the day you came around. From the start, I instantly made up my mind. Sweeter sweetness can't be found. You're so sweet, can't be beat. Nothing sweeter ever stood on feet. Oh, every honeybee fills with jealousy when they see you out with me. I don't blame them, goodness knows. Honeysuckle rose. Oh, when you're passing by, flowers droop and slide, and I know the reason why. You're much sweeter, goodness knows. Honeysuckle rose. Now don't buy sugar, you just have to touch my cup now. You're my sugar. It's so sweeter when you stir it up. When I'm taking sips from your tasty lips, seems the honey fairly drips. Your confection, goodness knows. Honeysuckle rose.
Oh,
Cold stuff, huh?
yeah. Oh, man. And so it was a young lady that I would play piano for, Tracy Wiles. She started doing auditions, submissions with reproductions, and it's kind of like where you do, instead of a reel, you do like a musical theater reel. And so I was like, I want to give me a musical theater reel because, like you said, people want to see what you can do. And sometimes, you can't always go to California to audition for these tours or for these shows. And so that's one of the songs in my audition rep. And I'm a baritone and I sing bass in operas. And sometimes people see me and they're like, "Oh, you're not fat, so you must be a high tenor." And I'm like, "No, I'm a baritone bass." And I felt like that song was able to show how I use my voice.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. As time has marched on for me as well, doing a lot of on-air work and voiceover work, my voice, which I'm very happy about, has lowered as time has gone on. It's become much more, it's become deeper, more resonant, which is kind of cool. And even when I was in 6th grade in chorus in school, Mrs. Sebastian, our music teacher, said, "Oh, you are definitely an alto. You are definitely an alto." So it was already placed into that alto category. But I think it's from, and too, being a performer as much as you are, a composer, a musical director, writer, actor, the use of the voice over years, over time, fine tunes it, tweaks it. And you create something with your voice. You take what's God given, but from the use of the voice, singing, on air and announcing, whatever it may be, you get your sound, but it's as if it's like taking silverware and polishing it.
Oh, yes. And then shine comes out.
You're polishing it every time you're using the voice in the way that we use it, because we're projecting, articulating, enunciating. We're not just talking. We're actually using those vocal muscles in ways that really sort of, it's the same thing as if you lift weights. I mean, your muscles are going to be toned. And so that's what happens over time. And for you, it's happened as well, right?
Yes, yes.
People are saying you've got great range. This, you know what they're saying? And actually, I thought of this. The Nick Cannon, yes, but did you see the comment? There is a little bit of that Sammy Davis Jr. feel.
I have heard that. I have heard it. Man, I love Sammy Davis Jr.
He was the ultimate entertainer. Wasn't he the ultimate entertainer?
Yes,
Just
and I've auditioned for some shows. Yeah.
yeah, the ultimate entertainer. I want to show them even more. We have here, let me bring this into the picture here. That's an unusual place to be paused, but there's a little bit of a teaser for you. What could we be showing next? Hide the children. No. This is part of your acting reel, and we're going to take a look at that. You've seen him performing and singing and so much more. Now we're going to show you some of Jerome Brooks Jr.'s acting chops. Take a look at this, everybody.
Sometimes I just need a little me time.
Suits, all new episodes Thursdays at 9 on USA.
Step, 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 up and take a look. See what's bumping under the hood. Ride so hot, make y'all get shook. Yeah, pedal to the metal, y'all, we gonna book. Double click the fastest speed around. This is Green Streak, son, burning up your town. Sending IM from your IBM. Hit URL straight out your Dells. Download this track straight to your Mac. This is Green Streak fast, ain't no going back. You got the need for this viral video. We got the speed that makes the kids wanna go. Green streaking, we're green streaking. Green streaking, we're green streaking. Green streaking, we're green streaking.
Less energy. Hey, New York, it's the way to be cool. Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, Staten Island, Westchester, New York is just.
Yeah, turn me up. So glad I found you, and I hope you feel the same. Loving you is all I wanna do. 'Cause
What a segue there to the other video that was queuing for next. Got that off quick. Wow, that shows incredible range. You know what I mean? Geez, whiz, cool stuff, huh? When you look at that, what does it say to you? I mean, you look and you see all these different projects, all these different versions of your talent. I mean, it covers across the board, Jerome.
Jim, it makes me thankful. You know, sometimes my mom always tells me, you feel like there's so much more for you to do, but you have to be thankful for all that you've accomplished. She was like, I haven't accomplished those things. My dad is like, I haven't either. So I look and I am thankful. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm not where I think I should be or where I want to be, but then I look and I'm like, you know, Jerome, you have done something. Yeah.
What it is sometimes we need to be reminded, and I think it's good to go back in time a little bit and to remind ourselves of the accomplishments. I do the same thing. I pull out, I think I mentioned this to a couple of people on this show, where I'll see things I've done if I'm not live on the air, because I do a lot of live, and I love live. I love, because I can ad lib and I can react and feed off the energy. So I love live television, live radio, live stage, live emceeing, all kinds of things, hosting. But if it's something that we've done that's going to re-air and it's going to be on television or whatever it may be, and I see it, for me, I don't like it right away. It takes me a while to like what I just did. I can even do a show like this, and everybody, it's fantastic. It was great. I loved it. Perfect. Even a show like this on the internet. And I won't like it right away. I'll watch it and I'll be looking for little things, because I'm seeing it coming out of my eyes looking this way. And now when I see it in reverse, I'm seeing it as everybody else is seeing it. All the little nuances, all the little things. So I'm sort of dissecting it in a way to perfect, tweak, continue growing. So for a long time, people would say, Jim, I saw you do that thing on television. Oh, wow, that was awesome. Or spot on. It could be producers. It could be people in the industry. And you nailed that. And we loved it. And I hear it. But for me, it's not quite good enough in my ears yet. I have to be emotionally detached from what I just did. If I just got off a stage, or I just got off a TV set, or off the air on radio or whatever, I'm still invested emotionally in everything it took to do what I did, with all the chaos and all the elements and all the swift changes and all the things that are happening. So for me, I'm not like, oh yeah, I nailed that. Sure. Right. For me, I don't. And I kind of like that part of myself, because it drives me to continue honing craft and continue fine tuning. So I'll hear what people say, but it won't totally sink in until I'm emotionally detached from what I just did, and I can pull a tape out of the vault and put it in the machine and press play and look back and say, you know what? Now that the emotional investment in that isn't as fresh as it was when I just did it, I see what people saw under those conditions, with that experience, with whatever it was. Now I hear what they're saying. Sometimes I do wish I hear it when they say it, because then sometimes you jettison even more when you ride on what they're saying. But for me, because I strive for, I guess, excellence and making it right, doing well with it, that I don't hear it right away. I've taught myself to listen and hear it more, so it doesn't take so long in between when I did it and when I like it. It doesn't have to be something that I watched that I did 7 years ago and now suddenly I'm liking it. What I'm doing is, when I hear that, I'm saying, okay, you liked it. What do you got for me next?
You know, receive it.
Right. And it sounds like you've been on that same path with a lot of what you do, because you have high standards and expectations of yourself. You're always critiquing your work and perfecting your work, and wanting to be at certain places at certain times based on the effort put in. And I think it's a beautiful thing, because it makes you really, I think what people get from me and get from you is they understand that we're really in it for the right reasons. We're in it because we love it. It's the craft. We want to inspire people, touch people's lives, lift them up. And sometimes when you're in it for the right reasons, there's more energy and more focus, and time is a little slower because you're really working on it, as opposed to like a one-hit wonder. All right, we're out there and that's it. And then boom, they disappear. So it sounds similar, that it takes you time to really like what everybody else is telling you is fantastic. You need to absorb it, maybe emotionally detach from it, and then you hear what they've been saying, right?
Right, because we're building a reputation, and reputations don't happen overnight. So like you said, when you cultivate something and you want to make sure everything you represent, it's something that you like, it's because it's your reputation. And you want people to say, I've been watching Jim, he's consistent, or I've always known that Jim was going to be good, and he's always been good. And you want to make sure that you hold that standard up to yourself. So sometimes we are a little harder on ourselves. And when people give us a compliment, we're not sure if we should take it and accept it, or if we should say, yes, but I could have done this or could have done that. Sometimes we just need to say, thank you. I actually worked real hard on that. And thank you for acknowledging.
Exactly. What I tend to do is, if I know I'm coming up on television, if something's re-airing or whatever it is, and there's folks in the room with me, I'll say, okay, now it's going to be coming on. I know you want to watch it, but let's watch it as if you don't know me. You're detached that you know me. And sometimes when I hear stuff back, that I've done, or I watch it, I'll do the same thing. I'll try to fake myself out to say, okay, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it as if I'm not watching it as me. Would I be convinced by what that guy said, by his facial expressions, his words, his vocalese, by just the content of what he did? Would I be convinced by it? And usually when there's people in the room and we're watching something, I usually ask them the same question. Hey, would you be convinced by that guy you see on the screen right now? Would that be convincing? But forget that you know me. I'm your cousin or your nephew or your brother or your son or your friend. Just detach. And so I'm always looking for, the understanding of the reaction of the folks. Would they be convinced? And then I question myself, would I be convinced by it? And that's what makes us work harder.
And that's what makes a good director. Like Mumtaz Hussein, who directed Art Equals Love Square. We shot a few things over because he said, I want you to walk different. Don't walk like Jerome. You have to walk like the character. And I didn't understand what he meant until I kept walking, and then he said, that's the one. And who would have thought a walk would do something? And it wasn't how I would normally walk.
Right.
And that's so when I watched Art Equals Love Square, that's not how I walk. Like, it was just me trying to portray this vision of what the director wanted. And I was there to act, to be another person. And I was able to find the character that he created, that he wrote about. He finally saw it. And so when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, it's the character, it's not Jerome. And then it made me happy. Because, I was practicing it in a whole nother way. And the fact that he could see something that he could tweak and that I was tweakable, it made me watch and say, wow, I actually played a character. And I want to do that again. But I would love to have directors and people pull things out of me. And so I do love that I had a director that gave me new things to discover. I don't hear you, Jim. Can you hear me? I'm definitely glad to be a part of the Jim Masters show. It's amazing. You meet different people in life. And there was a lady named June. She told me about Jim. And she said, this is a show that you have to be a part of. You have to meet Jim's personality. He's vibrant. He has a big following. And I said, well, I'm not famous. What am I going to do? I haven't been on Broadway. I'm not a blockbuster top tier name. And she said, just be you, just be yourself. Just be thankful for the opportunity. And so I am thankful for this opportunity that I was able to be a part of Jim's dream, his show, 14th week. And that's what it's all about. Definitely what it's all about.
Well, this is really interesting because were you talking that whole time?
I was waiting, and then I didn't.
That was good vamping. That was good. I had to do that the other night. I think it was Jerry Castaldo or something was having major problems. He's in Western New Jersey. They had a lot of problems because that hurricane, tropical storm that came through last week.
Yes.
So, devil of a he created this whole brought his father in from Staten Island and had this mini studio audience and all of this stuff. So what we had is the lights just flickered on and off, and the internet went out.
No.
But you know what's really cool? This is a good experiment. You were still there. Everything is still live. It's still going. Nothing's been interrupted. And what it probably did is it took me out and made you full screen. So it was you were on. See that? I did that as a test to see if you could just roll with anything that happens. And that proves it. Jerome Brooks Jr. can roll with anything. You just did a one-man stand-up routine.
Yeah, because I was like, hey, Jim, I don't see you, I don't hear you. And then it said live, and I said, well,
did you miss me?
Live. No, yeah, I missed you. I said, nobody wants to just see me stand here and wait. Because I was just talking about your dreams and your goals, like you're actually doing something that you wanted to do. And I get to be a part of your vision, and you also researched and you picked certain things that stood out to you. And I want to say thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's absolutely my pleasure. And now they're saying, I see Jim too. Now I see Jerome. Now I see Jim too. That is funny. Well, Renee in Iowa said they had some kind of a wacky storm. She was telling me on my Facebook page, she said she's in Iowa, and they had an inland hurricane hit them today.
Oh my God.
They call it a Derico.
Okay.
An inland hurricane. I tell you, 2020, and now Jen is Zen again. She's Zen during the show, probably became unzen when that happened, and now she's Zen again. Which is
So what did they see when you went away?
That's a good question. I don't know. What did everybody see? Was there something that you saw? They probably just saw you.
Green black. Did they hear me?
I think just you. Yeah, it keeps going. The system keeps going, but I think it was just you.
So did you have to power back on?
So Jennifer was Zen when it happened as well. That's funny. No, what happened was the lights went out, then on. Okay. And then the lights, then first you disappeared, then I was on, and then both of us disappeared. And we both had those little circles where it's thinking, I think I can, I think I can. And then I think things clicked off and on quickly again, but then it took the internet out, and the internet, not as quickly as lights just pop on, but the internet needed to power back up. So then I had to go back into our streaming service and just sort of re-click, enter back in manually. And you were there, and you're like, so Jim, do you like vanilla ice cream, chocolate, strawberry? You were just still going. And they said they saw you. There was you. So it was kind of like this, I guess, like this.
Okay.
Because you still had connection, and you were signed into the system, so you were there, which was cool.
Wow. Yeah, I was
so thanks for filling in.
Yes. Jim, what did you want to be when you were younger?
You know, that's really interesting. I always knew that I wanted to do something that inspired people. I was the kid that always ran around the house with a little cassette recorder and the microphone. And I was always sort of speaking into it and sort of interviewing the relatives and getting their life stories. And I would talk to some of the older relatives and set the cassette recorder down and just ask them about their life. And they would tell about their life and growing up and some of the things happening and all. And what was really interesting about that is, you know, some of them are not with us anymore. And so now I can pull that material. And then eventually I started doing it with video and capturing them. And some of them, they're not here anymore. So you can pull that out and listen to when you were 11 years old and you're talking to, you know, like a grandparent or an aunt that you loved very much and things of that nature. And really, really cool. Yes, the news is on behind you, Kathleen. Forget about the news because it took out our TV monitor too. And I can't walk away from the screen and do that too.
Oh, right.
So, disregard that. I'll stand in front of it. Jerome and I are the news. So there was that. And we used to do plays in the garage.
Yeah.
And we'd have all the kids come over and they would act in the plays. And then on Saturdays, we would do a play in the bedroom. And the bed would be, so you have the bed, we would be behind, not where you have the headboard and the bed comes out. We would push the bed away from the wall, and we would be between the wall and the bed going this way. And on the other side of the bed, our parents would be, and my sister and I would do plays in our room, and we would take a rope, put it on each side of the wall, take one of my mother's drapes, drape it across. That would be the curtain, and the bed would be the stage. So we were on one side of the bed. We would reveal it. My mother would pop Jiffy Pop popcorn. It was a big Saturday night event, and we would do all kinds of stories. And I had these little green turtles. Somehow we roped the turtles into it. Some of our neighborhood friends would be in. Our dog would be a part of it. We'd rig him into. So cool stuff. So I always knew I wanted to do something. I also like architecture and design. So I was studying architecture and design, and just went into this field. I studied this in high school. I started in the high school radio station, writing for the high school newspaper. When I went off to college, I became president of the debate team in college, the public speaking team, and then I worked for the TV station, the radio station, the newspaper. So it was always honing my craft even in college, and then got my very first job at a commercial television station in New York on Long Island. And then there was a period when I first got out of school where I was doing 3 things at the same time, which I'm sure you've had happen. I was doing full-time at the commercial independent TV station, which in New York is now WLNY CBS 10 and 55. It's owned by CBS now. And then I was doing part-time radio at night for a Christian radio station. And then I started working for public television on air as a host, freelance in the beginning. So I was doing public television, I was doing commercial television, and then I was doing radio all at the same time. And life has been pretty much like that throughout. I've always been doing multiple things. Like some people see me doing, for my years on public television, they're like, oh yeah, I always see you on PBS. So they know me from that. Some know me from the radio show I did 18 years on iHeartRadio. Some know me from the TV news show I do in New York. They'll know me from the one thing. And then when they find out I also do this, and have done that, they're like, what? And same thing I'm sure with you. Like a Ryan Seacrest. I think sometimes he gets a little flack, but I think Ryan is really talented. I think he's really, really good. He's been able to bring in a lot of different elements of himself and host a lot of different, whatever they throw at him, he can host and he can pull it off. And the person that really, really, and that's, a mentor is a really good thing to have too. And he was very lucky because his mentor was Dick Clark. So Dick Clark, Seacrest was doing the show in Atlanta, went to LA. Then Dick Clark saw him doing these sort of spots on NBC, where he was sort of doing the intro to the NBC Saturday night movie. So he would do these little on location spots. Hi, I'm Seacrest. We're on location, and tonight's movie is this, starring that. So he was doing sort of those wraparound segments in and out of the movie. Clark saw that. Dick Clark loved it. They connected, and he brought him in, and then the opportunities for American Idol happened.
Right, him and Brian Dunkleman, yeah.
Yes, and Brian Dunkleman made the mistake of saying, and he's quoted as saying it multiple times, they wanted to renew both of them for season 2. And he said, nah, this isn't what I want to do. This show's not going to last. And that was season 1 of American Idol. So they kept Ryan Seacrest. The rest is history. One of my friends, actually, somebody that I've known a long time, he sang at my birthday party and the anniversary of that radio show I was doing on iHeartRadio. He lives one town over from here. And he was one of the winners of American Idol. It was Nick Fradiani Jr.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
really, really talented guy. But Ryan got American Idol, but then as Dick Clark brought him in to help co-host New Year's Rockin' Eve.
Yeah.
And then when Dick fell ill, he was elevated even more, Ryan. And then from there, the rest is history. He's
Yeah, 'cause he started his company.
and he learned the production company. Because Dick Clark Productions, existed, so he really honed his chops watching some of the greats. And I've always looked at the greats, the Dick Clarks, the Johnny Carsons, so many people that have done shows over the years. Dick Cavett, all these different people. Ryan Seacrest is cool. So I think a lot of people, Regis, a lot of people say they see different elements in my personality from a lot of those different people. I also always wanted to be one of the staff announcers at like CBS that would come on, after the show. This is CBS, just still when I hear that, my toes curl. This is ABC. I love all that stuff. It's cool stuff.
And we know those voices, you hear it.
All those voices, all those sounds. Yeah. Now, if you weren't doing what you do, go ahead. What was that?
Say it again. Especially the guy's voice who does the scary movies. When a scary movie comes on, we know his voice. We're like, that's not the right scary voice. But we hear it. That's him.
Well, then you also have James Earl Jones, who's been used for This is CNN. He's the voice of CNN for the longest time.
Wow.
And of course, the great Morgan Freeman's voice.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever you hear him do commercials and some of those voices that stick out. Have you ever done any voiceover work, animation voiceover, any voiceover stuff?
That's cool stuff. Some voiceover work, yeah. And it's different. It's different. It's but it's fun. It's fun. It's
if you weren't doing what you do now and the work that you've done so far, what else would you be doing, Jerome? What are some other interests you've had?
I love fashion. So I worked on Fifth Avenue for Kenneth Cole when he had his flagship store and the Rockefeller Center. And then
you're mentioning some really cool names. I have so much of these things in my closets. Kenneth Cole and Michael Kors, Hilfiger.
Yes. And then so I was with Hilfiger since 2010 until 2017. And they sent me to Japan with Jessica Alba and her husband Cash to style them and to help open up their flagship Tokyo store. And I've been personal styling for different artists and celebrities. And so I think the fashion industry would be my second calling if it wasn't the arts. I do love fashion. And then I realized that people, they combine. You have so many artists that have their own clothing line,
Right. It's all connected, right? It's all connected. Could you see yourself having a clothing line?
I could. I definitely could.
Yeah. That's cool stuff. So when you look at some of the things that you've done and then you look ahead to some of the things you'd love to do, Jerome Brooks Jr., what are some of the things that are on your to-do lists that you still haven't done yet, but you would like to go through this life having accomplished, having tackled?
Well, I definitely want to be on a movie screen as a main character. I just want to have the right role. I want to play someone who's different from me, but someone who makes people feel something. I want to maybe do like a sitcom or a drama. I always said that if I was to get in a TV show, it would have been How to Get Away with Murder. I loved it because it wasn't a white show. It wasn't a black show. It wasn't an old people show. It wasn't too funny. It wasn't too serious. It was the perfect show where you combine different ages, and just the way that it recycled events. So that meant that the writing had to be on point because sooner or later it was going to flash back or flash forward. So I wanted to be in a TV show, and definitely I moved here thinking I was going to do like soap operas in the day and Broadway at night and produce music in the studio, on the weekends, for different artists. I love writing music, and every song that I write is not for me to sing. And so that's why I was like, if I do musicals, different people can sing different songs, and I want to create these stories that'll live on after me and give other people opportunities to perform. And
Right.
so, I want to create shows for people to be in, but I also want people to create shows that I can act in. Music is what I've done the longest. Piano since I was 5. My passion is acting. I'm an actor first. After being in New York, I've met so many people that have gone to all these schools for writing music and writing plays. And I'm like, I didn't do that. I'm an actor, but I write music, and I'm good at it. Especially arranging, and so I don't really know what's gonna happen, but like you said, if there were other things that I could do, or my goals, it would definitely be to do film and TV, and to create, theater for people now and for people coming after me.
It's beautifully said. A couple people asked, speaking of fashion, what are you wearing tonight?
All right. So my glasses are from Native Can, the New York designer store. Christoph is the owner. This has matching pants and a matching jacket. It's from Top Man. They were in Soho, but now they're only in Europe. I used to love to go there because they were definitely more expensive than like Zara and H&M, but they weren't as expensive as like Dolce & Gabbana and, D Squared. And so the pen is also from Top Man, and this is also from Top Man. This shirt is from Zara, and this ring was my anniversary ring for like 5 years at Tommy Hilfiger. My mom got me this nice silver bracelet. She loves buying me jewelry. And I have a red belt. All about the details. And that is from H&M. So it's a collaboration.
H&M, absolutely. Have you ever become a collector of any of these, the bead bands?
I see those. I love it.
Have you ever been? You have any? Have you been a collector of? I started with one. Somebody that makes them on Facebook actually follows me and said, you know what? I follow you on television. I heard you on the radio. I'd love to send you one. And she makes them professionally for public figure people. And she sent me a beautiful one, and then I really liked it. Like, wow, I could pick what I wanted. If I wanted one that was, more masculine looking or different colors or whatever, you could do whatever you want. And then, as it was really amazing, all of a sudden, people started giving them to me as gifts. Colleagues, friends. I was at 54 Below when I was emceeing. I MC at Carnegie Hall and a lot of different places for friends of mine who are performers and composers and singers.
And I want to have a concert production of Committed at 54 Below one day.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. I'll be happy to MC.
Yeah.
Jerome Brooks Jr. One of the waiters there. No, the place was pitch black except for the spotlight and the lighting at 54 Below, Feinstein's 54 Below. For those watching, that's a wonderful place, a venue in New York City. And it's next to where Studio 54 was, right? Is it?
Yeah.
The famous club Studio 54 was right. Right, exactly. So, it's dark, and I'm standing off to the side of the stage because I did my introduction and my welcome to the audience, and then I welcomed my friend, the female singer, on stage. And then she came and she started, and they had the pianist there and the drummer and bass player was all set up. So they went. So I was sort of off in my little area there, waiting for the next time I popped on. And one of the waiters who was running around, all of a sudden, I'm standing there. Now, again, it's dark. You can really only see the stage. And I feel somebody grabbing my arm, and he sees this, I think this brown one.
Yeah.
And he goes, and then he shows his hand, and he's got the same one.
Oh,
one of the waiters. And it was just absolutely amazing that he noticed it. So then afterwards, when, our group, our table was getting ready to say our goodbyes after we had dinner, and we were, in between emceeing, we were having dinner with friends that were invited as well. The waiter came over and he sat down. He was a very talkative. He's always there. And he was a very talkative guy, which was terrific because who isn't? So we were chatting. And he goes, "Oh, I love those. I have those." He says they're very healing. There's a lot of healing properties to them. And I've been collecting them. He said, "I know." I said, "Ever since I got sent one, everybody's been giving them as gifts. And then everywhere I've been going, when I was on TV shoots last year in Germany and Greece and the Netherlands, I was been a couple of years ago, it was Italy. I picked up different ones at different shops. I'm now like sort of searching for them. And then I was in Los Angeles on a TV shoot, found some in LA when we were visiting family in Florida, found some in Florida, all unique, different ones. And now they've become sort of, I don't always wear them all the time as far as like in certain roles on television, if I can't always have them on, unless there's a suit that can go over it so you don't see it necessarily. But
or unless it matches something that you're wearing.
Unless it matches something I'm wearing. But sometimes when I don't have them on, it feels, first I had it on the right arm because I'm lefty, so a lot of the watch, everything's on the right. So but then all of a sudden the left arm felt very unbalanced. Unbalanced. So then people started sending for the left arm, and now we've got so that's the story of those, and they do, And I've been healthy wearing them.
It works.
No,
and
COVID.
I think when people realize things that you like, once they know, and then they can contribute.
Isn't that amazing? I was telling them last night, 2 nights ago, how I show the characters, George Burns and Jeannie and Silver and Jimmy, that I interviewed Dreama Denver, wife of Bob Denver, who was Gilligan on Gilligan's Island. We did a wonderful interview like this 2 nights ago. And she's sending me a Gilligan collectible doll because she wants it on the set. She says, "Oh, I want to send you one of these. We have these. I want to send it to you because I see George Burns and I see Jeannie and I see the other characters on the show. Gilligan needs to be on there." So Gilligan is being shipped here. We're going to have Gilligan on from Gilligan's Island. Isn't that cool? And again, like you said, the energy,
personal connection.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So how do you keep connected? How do you keep spirited and happy and have those creative juices keep flowing in a positive way, especially through everything, I couldn't come in to the city to see you and have a bite to eat right now because of the social distancing and everything that's going on. So, and I hope that we do that, when all this clears up, we get together and break bread. But how are you keeping in touch and keeping connected with everybody and everything to keep your spirits high during all this?
I will say I have after I moved here, I was able to meet a relative, Tanya Thomas. And so like when Thanksgiving comes and I'm not home, because I only go once a year to South Carolina around Christmas, which is around my birthday, I get to spend these moments with the cousin that I met, Tanya Thomas, in the Bronx. And, she just got a quarantine puppy, a miniature dachshund. And so just to see her, and sometimes it reminds me of family. And I also get to talk to my mom and dad all the time. They're not here with me in New York, but talking to them helps to encourage me. They may not understand everything that's going on in New York. They did come. I moved to this apartment, and this time last year they came and they visited me and they stayed for a week, and it was just it was nice. So when I speak to them now, I say, well, you know where the couch is, you know where the dresser is, they like know, they like you need to get another knife, you need to get something to lay your dishes on.
Oh, yes, right, exactly. So throw out that ladle. I'll get you a new one. Those
Yeah.
glasses, there's chips. We're gonna get you some new ones. Yeah, they're looking out for you.
Oh my God, yeah.
Or do they want to cook for you and also do your laundry?
Oh my God, they don't want to do that. If they could, they would.
If they could, they would, right?
They would, they gave me recipes we made when they came, and
My mother's like that too. Yeah.
yeah. And when it first started, I didn't know how bad it was, like in March. So I went to Target to get groceries, and the shelves were empty.
Yeah, it's not just toilet paper, but the food and everything was like whoosh, wiped out.
Yeah. So my parents, they packed 2 boxes and they mailed me like food and toiletries, like I was in college.
Yeah, remember those days, right?
Yeah. So they would do anything for their child.
It's a beautiful thing. How about your brother? Is your brother in this field, entertainment?
In South Carolina. He played more instruments than I did. He played the cello, the violin, the drums, the piano.
Wow.
But he was bigger than me also. He's like 6'3", maybe like 500 pounds.
Wow.
Like
a linebacker, yeah.
Yeah, so he now respects the art. He knows the art, and he's one of my biggest supporters. And he was an athlete. He also played football, baseball, basketball, and so he's in South Carolina now. He's a businessman, and so he works, and we have the same parents, and we grew up the same way, and we have the same values, and we do the same thing. We listen to the same, music, and we were raised the same way, but we just look different. And it's amazing sometimes when I go back for Christmas and I talk with my brother, and we're like, oh my God, we use the same lotion, we use the same cologne, but when people see us, we're like polar opposites. But in actuality, we are the same. Mm-hmm. So I talk to my brother all the time too. When he had a 2-bedroom apartment, he was paying less than I was paying for my like baby studio apartment. So sometimes the living is different.
Sure.
I wish I could get a big place, for the same price. Maybe one day.
Who looks like who? Do you look more like your mom or your dad?
I look like my dad, and they say my brother resembles my mom. So and I'm Jerome Brooks Jr. and I do feel like I look like my dad, yeah. And then my brother, he looks like my mom.
And it's great that you use the junior, paying homage to, your dad and, the pride factor,
And are you Jim Masters Jr. or is Jim Masters a stage name?
No, actually, Jim Masters, it's James, actually, but it's the family. I'm the 5th, actually.
Oh my God.
The 5th James Masters, yeah.
And so junior, I was always a junior, but when I tried to join SAG and Equity, there was already a Jerome Brooks.
Right. Do you ever get confused? Do people get confused when they Google you or search you or like, oh, is that Jerome Brooks or is that Jerome Brooks Jr.? Or?
At the beginning, there was this Jerome Brooks, and even a recording artist goes by Jerome. But I think, like you said, the more work that I've done, and like produced music for RuPaul. My name was on like a lot of musical projects, and then just acting in things. Jerome Brooks Jr. is now, instead of me being like the 20th person on a Google search, now it's linked to Jerome Brooks Jr., Jerome Brooks Music.
That's
So
awesome.
it's kind of like that reputation we all talked about, like.
Right. Absolutely. Well, I tell you, you're really a spirited individual and very passionate about what you do and very doing it for the right reasons. And you really care, and you do beautiful work, Jerome. And you're super talented in so many different ways and genres, and the versatility is extraordinary. And again, you're doing it from here, heart and soul, which is the right way to do things. And what are some of the things in your life that are those blessings that keep you moving forward?
Like, I think when the cameras were down, I mentioned that June was speaking highly about you and your show. And my big thing was, I don't know, June. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not famous yet. I don't think he's going to want to interview me. And, she's like, well, think about it.
She asked me, and I said, absolutely. Let's go. Let's pick a date.
You see? And so at first, I told her I didn't think I was ready because there were so many things that I wanted to accomplish. And then she said,
but you could always go through life that way, right? You could always go through life saying, I'm not ready. I'll wait to the next thing. I used to do that a lot. You know what? That was really good. That was great. But I think the next thing's going to be better. So I'll wait I'll wait for the launch until I do the next thing. So so June said, try it. And you went right in, which was awesome.
She did. And I remember when I went to the Grammy Awards, there was this song by Tori Kelly called Confetti. And it basically says, I can't wait for the confetti to fall in order to celebrate. Sometimes you have to celebrate now. You have to do things now. Keep waiting, and then the confetti might not fall, and then that means you can never celebrate.
Right.
So I wanted to celebrate this moment. The moment that you have your show, and the moment that I get to be a part. And like you said, when you look back, I'm like, oh man, I did that commercial. Wow, like, sometimes you forget.
It's good to be reminded. It's absolutely good to be reminded. Absolutely. Well, this was fantastic, Jerome. And I loved it. And I know the audience has as well. And you've shared a good deal of your life. And we've gone through memory lane, looking at some of the cool things too, but talking about some of the projects you're working on and the enjoyment and fulfillment you have out of life. And you're welcome back anytime, my friend. And I hope when this is all past, we do get together and get a bite to eat in the city or what have you. That would be cool. I'd love it.
And did you get the baby picture? I found the old baby picture.
You did?
I did.
So that's not the one we showed, right? That's something else?
No, but it like almost looks the same. I sent it.
Yeah, it almost looks the same, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
This was fun, and at least I got to be a part of your 14th week celebration.
That's right. Absolutely. We're getting a lot of comments. Reenie Cat says, this was a great show. I wish you the very best, much success, and know everything is possible when you're humble, talented, and brave. Thank you for a good show, Jim and Jerome. They all love it. And Willie in Holland is still there at 3:30 a.m. in the Netherlands, still watching.
Wow.
That's loyalty.
Your favorite. She's dedicated.
That's it. We truly enjoyed you. Thank you, and stay safe. I hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with you, Jerome. It was terrific.
Oh, I enjoyed it, my friend.
I wish you nothing but the very best, and I hope that it met all those expectations that June presented to you.
Oh, yes. And thanks to June and Jim. I appreciate it.
This is the one. Oh, it was fantastic. I loved it. I love it. Willie says, bye, Jerome. And it's like a trifecta. It's like the 3 J's, Jim, Jerome, and June.
You're right.
We may have to do something like that. We can go on the road.
Of course.
Instead of the OJs, the 3 J's.
The 3 J's, I like it.
That's it. And Mary Bishop, thank you, Jerome and Jim. Another good one. XOXOXO.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah. All right, my friend, you take care. It was a blessing and a joy to have you on the show. Keep being you, and I can't wait for us to get together. And I appreciate all the time and all the levity on the show. And feel free to spread the word. If you know other people you think would like to hop on, let them know, and we'll welcome them as guests as well, my friend.
Of course. All right, have fun.
Patricia Garcia says bye. They're in South Carolina.
Well, bye, Patricia. Thank you so much. She's so sweet.
What a perfect freeze frame that. All right, we are back. I think we lost Jerome, but it's a wacky night. I tell you, 2020 is something else. The internet is crazy. Thanks, Jerome. Yes, that was a nice hat, wasn't it? Nice hat. What's happening is they're probably working on the lines. I'm thinking they're working on the lines because here in the Northeast, there's been a lot of power lines down, damage from still tropical storm hurricane Isaias. So there's a lot of areas. We were fortunate. We didn't lose power. We didn't have any problems here, but there's a lot of areas where there are, and there's crews from all over the country. So we are good, and we're fine here, but internet is going in and out. So we are going to wrap up because we never know if we're going to lose internet again. We might lose the internet again. So we are going to wrap up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to announce the viewer of the week. All right. We're going to announce our viewer of the week. And then tomorrow we'll celebrate it a little bit more. So we'll do the viewer of the week right now before, who knows, the internet can disappear. The lights can go out. This is 2020. Anything can happen. Here's the viewer of the week. Let's thank you to Jerome for joining us on the show. We really appreciate him being here. He was awesome to have as a guest on the show. And here comes everybody says, good night, loveties, and good night all, and nice hat. Yeah, it was awesome. It was really great. And I can't wait for us to get together for dinner. We're doing that with a lot of the folks who've been on the show. Let me run through some of his cool things here that we talked about with my very special guest, Jerome Brooks Jr. It was awesome having him here on the show. He's a real spirit, a real good guy. Again, that was from that video that we showed. This is the musical. Another cool shot there. There he is as the keyboardist in the Xbox 360 Rock Band 3. That's the shot he was telling us where his pants split open in the back and the button and the underwear was showing. And see, you never know. On this show, we really get the behind the scenes. Or in this case, with his rear end, the pants splitting open in the rear end, I could say that we certainly get behind the seams with that one. He was a part of this, which was fantastic as well. And so many great projects. And again, art equals love squared. Another great production and another great night. So need to have a big party. Yes. When we all come back. Absolutely. And you may freeze frame at any moment. That's kind of like, wasn't it about a year or so ago when that happened? People were doing that, freezing in place. Offices were doing it. People at parties were doing it. And then the video camera would just do a pan of people like frozen in place. Everybody saying goodnight. Thank you very much. Glad you guys enjoyed the show. It was awesome. And I think maybe he lost internet connection as well. And then we sort of had oh, he's coming back. He's coming back. There he is. Welcome back. And he's laughing. Life is crazy, huh? The internet is.
My God, I was trying to find the link.
And you did, right? You found the link, and and the hat's still tilted and everything's still the
Yes.
same. Oh my God. You know what it is? You're respectful and you wanted to do a right and proper goodbye. You didn't want to just fly out of the party. You wanted to do it.
Everything started freezing, and
It
I
was
was like, "Uh-oh."
crazy
Is it the
stuff.
weather, you think?
I think it's the weather, and I think that, through the storms that tropical storm
Okay.
hurricane that everybody had, I think they're probably working on all the power lines
Oh,
everywhere in New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, the whole area. So they're probably, when they work on the power lines, they have to shut power off in order to access the power line. So it could be that. Plus the weather, it's so humid tonight, isn't it?
mm-hmm.
It's really.
And then I went on my phone, and then I saw that you were still on, because I thought you ended it, and I was like, "Oh my God, he's still on! I gotta make sure."
So now we're even, right? I went off, you continued, and
Yes.
you went off, and I continued, and we
Yes.
waited for each other. That's friendship. We waited for each other.
Of course.
We wouldn't let the other one sink.
Yes. Yes.
Kindred spirits. And Christine says you came back because you missed us.
Yes, Christine, I missed you all.
Need to have a big party when we all come back.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, my friend,
Cheers.
oh, good. Yes, let's do that toast once again. My friend here on the Jim Master Show Live, Jerome Brooks Jr. Clang. What do you have in your glass?
This is cranberry juice and red custard tron.
Very nice. Very nice.
You?
Believe it or not, this is just usually I have something in it, but this was just grape flavored water.
Ooh, very nice, very nice.
That's all. But the other night I did have I had this sweet tea. I forget the name of it. It's sweet tea, but it has whiskey in it, and it's very big in the South. Okay. It's very, very big in the South. It's a sweet tea that has a little bit of a whiskey in it, and very, very delightful. Yes, Christine's right. He came back for a proper farewell with all of us lovities.
Lovities, oh yes.
The 3 J's, clink, clink, Svetka, Svetka, yes. Good stuff. Well, Jerome, my friend, before something else happens, this was awesome. This was terrific. And anybody wants to see this again, or you want to share the links, it's right on the YouTube channel on Jim Masters TV. You can share it on your pages, share it with everybody. And it was a blessing to have you on the show, and a lot of fun. And thanks for being so authentic and real and soulful and open with our audience as well. Because I don't know if you saw the picture. I was, running through the pictures again, going over everything. And when I came up to this one, I said, well, obviously here on the Jim Masters Show Live, you get the behind the scenes story. But in this case, it was behind the seams.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Oh,
but that was, but still looking good there too,
Oh, so embarrassing.
Hey, those things happen. See, that's what it is. People think everything is always so perfect and ideal because we make it look effortless. We work hard to make it look, because we don't want the audience to have to worry. We're here to entertain and inform and educate, and we want to take stress away from them. So we have the stress on us when we're doing it, and nobody knows.
That was a real fashion emergency. I was like, and I'm in fashion. How could it happen to me?
How could it happen to me? I'm the fashion guy, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
I thought about it.
That's it. You have a great night. You take care, and thanks for being on the show. You're welcome back anytime, my friend. And I hope we get a chance to get together soon at some point once this all passes. That would be awesome.
Of course.
All right.
All right.
You keep that smile. And
all right.
Stay healthy and stay safe.
Thank you.
You look very calm and happy right now. You're in a zone. Yeah.
It's like my sun is shining. This was a nice opportunity. I'm very thankful.
I am very happy that you're happy. You take care. You be well, and we'll see you again soon. All right.
All right.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
This This is the official goodbye, right?
It's official goodbye.
I'm not a good goodbye person.
Aww. Till next time.
Till next time. That's right. We'll see you later. Thanks, Jerome.
All right.
You take care. Bye-bye
You
now.
too.
All right. That's our official goodbye. Wasn't he awesome? It was really great to have him on the show. We had a lot of fun, a lot of levity. He shared and told us some really awesome and authentic stories as well. And we got a chance to go through his career up to this point. Of course, he's working on a lot of other cool projects. And I appreciate everybody around the world sticking with us through some of those weird power outages and internet going on and off, which may happen again. So we're going to wrap up early, but we do want to early. What do I mean early? It's 20 to 10. We started at 7. This show, all of these shows, when I created them, were only supposed to be max maybe about an hour. We've gone beyond that every single night because we have so much fun. And it's all about inspiring and positivity and light, levity and love, or lovity as we all call it. So thanks for all the great comments. Thanks for all the viewer participation, saying good night, having great parties. And it's always one happy party when you guys are here. We are going to do our viewer of the week. And we are going to announce it again tomorrow, just in case. Our viewer of the week tonight is Willie Jancy of Amsterdam, Holland, Netherlands. Congratulations, Willie. You are the Jim Master Show Live viewer of the week. You stay up late till 3:30, 4 a.m. in the morning when it's like 9, 10 o'clock here on the East Coast of the United States, and you're still here watching in the Netherlands. So there are those Dutch tulips that I got while we were in Amsterdam on a TV shoot. These are for you, our official. Renee in Iowa is now officially handing the crown off to Willie in the Netherlands. Congratulations to Willie. Again, ever since I started the show, I always wanted to honor a loyal viewer who watches, who shares the links, who has watch parties, who tells everybody about the show. And we really appreciate that. So, Willie, we love you there in Holland, in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands, in Europe. Thanks for your loyalty. Thanks for watching. You are our official viewer of the week on the Jim Master Show Live. Pretty cool, isn't it? Pretty cool stuff. So let's all celebrate the viewer of the week. Willie Jancy is it. And there you are, Willie. Congratulations. You get to tell everybody in Amsterdam, I am the viewer of the week. And I've got the crown and I've got the Dutch tulips. That's right. Viewer of the week officially. This is our first viewer of the week. Well, no, I wouldn't say it's the first in Europe because we had Isigari who watches from Barcelona, Spain. So I would say our first maybe from Northern Europe, from the Netherlands, our first from Holland. Fantastic. You know, Willie's all excited. It's like 20 to 4 a.m. She stayed up for this. So she has earned viewer of the week. You are very, very welcome. You can have as many Dutch stroopwafels as you want, guilt-free, because you are, and there's everybody wishing her well. Congratulations, Willie, from Kathleen, and from Kathleen in New York City, and Marilyn in Kansas, and Mary Bishop, and Christine Fairwood. She's all excited. Yes, yes, yes. Marilyn in Innerkip, Ontario, Canada is saying yes. Christine in Connecticut is happy. Willie's double happy. 3:40 a.m. there in the Netherlands. And all these great comments from our lovities, our viewers here from around the world who we love and appreciate. And fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. And your viewer of the week. So Jerry Castaldo wants to mail you his book, Willie. Isn't that cool? So, we can do that. If you want to send him the address, so if you want to send your address to me and I'll get it to Jerry, you have my email, jimmasterstv@gmail.com, the email for the show. Feel free, and I'll get the address to Jerry if you want me to do that. I can do that as well. Champagne, you're very welcome. Champagne for all. Very, very loyal. She's all excited. Now you're not going to be able to go to bed, right? because you're probably dancing around in your house there in Holland. You stayed up late. We were going to do it last night, but we ran out of time. So I wanted to make sure I did it tonight. And we're still on the air, so that's a good sign. And we got it in there. So throughout the rest of the week, Willie Jancy of Holland, of Europe, of the Netherlands, of Amsterdam, you are our official viewer of the week. Good stuff. Congratulations, Willie. Well earned. Good stuff. All right. So thanks, everybody. We thank once again our phenomenal guest. He was really awesome. We loved having him on the show. He was very open. He was very honest. He was authentic, very talented. I'm going to end with this picture. This is the picture I think is slick. And that's such a cool shot. Cool stuff. Jerome Brooks Jr. Look out for him. He's talented in so many different areas. And as I always say here, folks, it's all about love and levity here on the show. So make sure you do celebrate love and celebrate your families. And again, we continue to celebrate my dear friend Regis Philbin, who was one of the best in the business, true host through and through. Loved Regis Philbin, really good guy. And if you get a chance to get out to the ocean, as we do living along the coast, go to your place of Zen, go to your place. My place is the ocean. Having grown up near the ocean, it's my place for peace and quiet and tranquility. And you got to drag me out of the ocean. I'm always in it, swimming, surfing, boogie boarding, whatever it is, kite surfing. And always smile. Try to smile as much as you can, as often as you can, through everything, through the thick and the thin, because sometimes there's a lot more thick, and then sometimes there could be thin. That's not so great as well. So make sure you smile. You have a good time. All these, you're very welcome, Willie. Yes. Good stuff, Jerry. Very, very happy that you're here, Kathleen. Good stuff. All right. Willie is really dancing in her house there in Holland. She's loving it. You're not going to be able to go to bed now. And what other show gives you viewer of the week? You can watch other shows out there, but what other show? Smiling. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Our fantastic guest, Jerome Brooks Jr. Class act. He's giving us thumbs up, and he's giving us thank you, and he's giving us the prayer, which we love as well. Loved learning about Jerome. Yes, tomorrow, the brilliant Amanda McBroom is going to be here. She's my special guest tomorrow, and that's going to be a wonderful show. She is incredible. She's tomorrow. Don't miss that. She's a legend. Do you know she wrote the song that Bette Midler made famous? Amanda McBroom wrote the song, The Rose. Yes, that's just one of her many talents. I like to celebrate so many cool people with you here on the show. Again, the show is all about light, levity, and love. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes we don't. We do host chat. We do a lot of cool things when we don't. We are booked with guests all the way till October, which I can't believe considering the show is 14 weeks old. It's really amazing, but we have so much fun together, right? So Amanda McBroom is with us tomorrow. Don't miss that one. Great week of guests coming up, and time together, you and me. And that's what it's all about, the hosts and the viewers. Don't forget, as I say at the end of every show, to relax, breathe, take care of one another, love one another, breathe from the diaphragm. You'll feel really good when you do. Love you guys. You're the best from all around the world. Congratulations again to Willie Jancy there in Holland, being our official Gym Masters Show live broadcast series viewer of the week. And as I always say, I might be the host and the producer of the show and the star of the show, but you guys are the stars, every single one of you. We're all stars together here on the Gym Masters Show live. All right, gang, we're going to take off before power or anything else. 2020, anything can happen. You guys be well. Take care. A couple more comments coming in. Yeah, Willie is like, she's going to stand on her roof and in Dutch, she's going to scream out, I am the viewer of the week on the Gym Masters Show live in America. Well, you do that. We'll get some more viewers in Holland. Thanks for the positive light and levity, Jim. My pleasure, Christine, and thank you for being here. I know some cabaret friends that will be watching tomorrow. That's terrific. Spread the word. There is one show, Jim Masters Show, the show that gives you Viewer of the Week. We celebrate our viewers. It's not just about me. It's all of us together. Yes, it's going to be great. The Rose, Amanda McBroom penned The Rose that Bette Midler made famous. Lots of hearts. All right, gang. Love you all. You're a blessing to have on the show. Loved it. It was a terrific show. Lots of fun and levity. Great stories. And even when I can't wait to watch this again where the power goes. I picture her running around like she won the lottery. Willie is running around, as you can see right there, with all these emojis. She's got kisses and champagne glasses and faces and hearts and care and NL for Netherlands. She's got it all there. Gang, you guys are the best. Love you all. You take care. We thank again our very special guest, Jerome Brooks Jr. It was awesome having him on the show. We will be back tomorrow live, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific for another phenomenal episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. And once again, more thumbs up and clapping from Willie Jancy over the other side of the big pond in Europe, watching us here on the show. Congratulations to you, Willie, and thanks to everybody for watching the show tonight. Another great show is I could say another great show is in the books, but maybe tonight I'll say another great show is in the Brooks. See? All right, gang, you take care. We'll see you again tomorrow night. I'll be here, and I hope you are too. Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time till next time on the Jim Masters Show Live. Good night, everybody. Love you all. We'll see you tomorrow.